Hello everybody.
How you all doing today?
Welcome to our YouTube channel.
Oh yes, we are the one and only Common Sense Sister, the beautiful, the gorgeous, the amazing, tantalizing, and encouraging and sweet Common Sense Sister. Hey, Crypto Magic!
Welcome from the previous live.
Yeah, welcome. If it's your first time of meeting these beautiful ladies, my name is Yo-Yo.
My name is Eller.
This is our live show number 2 for today.
Today March. What is it? March what?
Today's March the
12th, 2022. Okay.
And if you haven't hit the subscribe button, please do that. And if you haven't smashed the like button, please do that as well.
Remember to be respectful, be open-minded, stay on topic, click on notification bell so you get notified whenever we post our videos or whenever we are live. And then if you want to know about the Common Sense Sisters or the Common Sense Squad, you can visit our About page. Stay up to date at our community page. And you can go through our playlist to watch all the videos that we have live on there for you. And finally, you can check us out on different social media platforms. We're Common Sense Sisters everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
today's topic is second life topic is very, very heavy.
Yeah. As you can see from the...
And it's also a very sensitive topic, as you can see from the thumbnail.
A true life story.
A true life story. It's a true life story.
Four true life stories. Yeah.
We have 4 true life stories today, all the way from Nigeria
and abroad,
and both happen in Nigeria, or let me use the continent, Africa, and then Australia. But we will start from Nigeria first with the first story. And today it's about looking at victims of domestic violence. And in today's episode, we're looking at men who are victims of domestic violence. Whenever you're ready, Ella, then I will talk about the first story.
We're going to start narrating the story. So give us a second while we share our screen. If you're joining in, please start hitting the like button and get comfortable. 1 second. Share screen. Share. Okay. I think I'm getting a group of this. All right, I think we're good to go. Story number 1.
So story number 1 is about a couple where the man is married to a lady who is a former reps member. And the man alleges that the lady beats him to pulp. And the story goes like this. It came out in 2021, December.
Yeah, a few
months ago, as you can see from the screen, right? It says a former Federal House Representative member, Honorable Sharon, has allegedly beaten her husband, Mr. David, to pulp, leaving him with high degree of injuries. The Paradise News, they gathered that Honorable Sharon, she had been a representative of a certain constituency in Benue State between 2003 and 2007, had allegedly threatened to kill her husband, which led to the husband petitioning her before the Inspector General of Police. Now, according to the petition by Bima Chambers, Mr. David, her husband, requested the dissolution of the marriage, saying the woman would, quote, habitually threaten to kill him by any slightest misunderstanding they had as a couple. The petition, dated back to December 7th, 2021, obtained by this news platform, said that the couple, they got married in 2017. As you can see on there, they got married in 2017, but started having issues a year after which David, the husband, fled from the matrimonial home for fear of being killed by his estranged wife, Honorable Sharon. David further told the Inspector General of Police that sometime in February 2019, he caused a notice of petition for the decree of dissolution of the marriage between him and Honorable Sharon to be filed at the FCT High Court, wherein she evaded service of the originating process on her before the unfortunate demise of the learned judge whose court in suit was assigned.
Yes, so as you can see here, this is in 2017 when David and Sharon got married.
So regrettably, while efforts have been made to serve this woman with notice, he was kidnapped. So David was kidnapped somewhere in Garki in Abuja in 2019 July by an unknown person. David was stabbed brutally on his face, on his neck, and tossed out of a moving vehicle and left to die by the roadside However, he survived the gory attack and thereafter made a formal complaint to the Gaiki police station. The owing service of the court process is in respect to this client's suit for dissolution of the marriage between them sometime in November. The wife, Honorable Sharon, started harassing the client. So she immediately changed her Facebook profile to reflect the client's name and pictures, and also resorted to posting highly obnoxious, audacious comments about the client on Facebook, according to the Bima Chambers. We're further informed by our client that in addition to the harassment in paragraph 7 thereof, Honorable Sharon has transferred unsolicited funds to his account in the amount of 5,000 naira and 50,000 naira to the client's account on the 3rd and 7th of December 2021, respectively.
So this is a picture. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's picture of the man from her own Herbal Original Wonder Tea company. So Honorable Sharon owns this company and transferred funds from this company to her husband's account.
So this is
and
David, unfortunately after the attack, I believe, and stabbings and everything.
This is very sad.
Very, very sad.
For anyone who is sensitive to this image, please.
Yeah, with us, the story is almost over.
Yeah, so based on going forward, the client is threatened by actions of Honorable Sharon, and unless this woman, the Honorable Sharon, is called to order, our client will not have peace of mind and will continue to suffer from psychological trauma and may even lose his life. That we count on the good office, so they are petitioning the court to acknowledge this domestic violence and for protection for Mr. Davis. That's the first story.
That's the first story.
So,
look, I think we're getting a hang of this.
We're getting the hang of this, and then let's see who's in the comment section.
Let's see what people are saying.
Let's see what people are saying.
Yeah, so Junior is saying that statistically, domestic violence against men are underreported globally. Very, very true. Amaka is saying, Kai, not sure why it took me a long time to get here. The update not be, hey, sorry. And Egosa is saying that Junior is right. Yeah, we will kind of give a brief summary
of the story.
So on the screen here, you have Mr. David.
Yeah.
Whose wife has been beating him since 2017 when they got married. His wife used to be a politician in Nigeria, representing Benue State between the years of 2007 and 2003. But this we put the links to all the stories in the description box for people.
This woman has been harassing and threatening her husband since they got married. And it's alleged that the man suspects that the thugs that attacked him, they allege that it's most likely this woman, this is wife that sent them.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because why would you be sending money into his account after the incident that happened, that almost left him for dead, and that they stabbed him? Now this man is begging for help. He's crying out for help.
He's been to the police.
He's done everything. He's doing everything right now. He's going to court. He's petitioning the IGP. For protection, his lawyers are petitioning for protection, for court order, for restraining on this woman. This woman thinks with her useless Herbal Wonder Tea company, it's falling on deaf ears that she can continue doing this because she thinks that she has more change. So why are they not making this process very fast to protect this man? Because he's a victim.
Yeah, why is it that when men are the ones being violated, first of all, they also feel ashamed to come and speak up. Then when they speak up, nothing is done about it. Nothing is done about it.
Why
Vera, you are correct. Yeah.
Welcome, Vera. You are very correct. The woman is a narcissist. Because why would you cause so much harm on your husband? And now this man has got courage to do this and he's doing the right thing. The state need to protect him and they need to follow due process.
They are not protecting him. You're not protecting him. Is it until God forbid
something happens to him, then they will come and talk.
We have 4 stories to share with you all today. For the first 3 stories, the men are survivors. They are not dead.
Yeah.
They are still going through the stuff, but they're not dead. But the last one was not able to make it. The last one was not able to make it.
Yeah. So the second story.
Should we go to the second story now?
Yep, because I think I'll do the second story and then we can put the link.
Okay. All right. So we're going to narrate the second
story. So give Ella like a few minutes.
1 second. Let me
and
share.
be gathering your thoughts because we'll soon put the link in the comment section. Why is it that when men report that they are victims of domestic violence, they don't take them seriously? You know? So the second story you can see here, this wife, it said that this wife allegedly beats her husband for not impregnating her. And this story goes like this. This is a 32-year-old woman called Chiwendu Chita. She has been arraigned before the magistrate court somewhere for alleged assault against her husband, Okechukwu, and a policewoman at their residence in somewhere in Lagos. The lady was accused of continuously assaulting her husband for not showing enough commitment in their marriage by getting her pregnant, leaving him scared and returning to their home. Chiwendu, that's the woman, allegedly began assaulting the husband in 2018, subjected him to more physical abuse after the police intervened. The accused allegedly assaulted her husband after locking him up in an apartment in 2019 December. She reportedly used a frying spoon to smash his head and his face, causing him grievous injuries, before forcefully collecting the sum of 650,000 naira from him in exchange for his life. Chiwendu, who continued beating her husband despite warnings from the police, also allegedly assaulted a policewoman who was sent over by the DPO to invite her to the police station. Now they have reported the case. The woman is pleading not guilty of any charges. So, who's this person? I think Shomade should be from the court. They're saying they fixed a date for the police to prove the charges against the lady, and then they granted her a bail of 700,000 with 2 sureties like some. We'll put the link in the comment section.
So that's story
number 2.
Story number 2.
So that we don't overwhelm people with all the stories back to back. We will just put the link
talk
in the
about
comment
it.
section.
We'll put the link. If anybody is free, you are free to come in and share. Give me a second.
Yeah.
Let me copy it.
I used to hear people say that men that are victims of domestic violence, they don't talk because they are afraid, or because of toxic masculinity that says a man should bear pain or tolerate pain in his relationship, or the toxic masculinity culture that would say, oh, it's a woman now, you should be able to control your temper. It's a woman,
man like you. Why woman go feel they beat you like this? Why would a woman be able to beat you? You that have all the muscles and all the strength and everything.
Calling him a woman rapper or something
and all
like that.
Forgetting that men too can feel pain.
Yeah.
Like men too can feel pain. So,
and in these 2 cases, they've done the right thing by reporting to the police. They've done the right thing.
For the second case, even after reporting to the police, we still hear that the woman increased the beating that she was giving the man.
Yes. The second case for the so because she says that the husband is not putting more effort in impregnating her. She extorted the husband of money after assaulting him, using frying spoon to puncture his head. Forcefully imprisoned him in the house and made him pay for his own release from his own house again. Paid 650,000. When they reported the case to police. And they sent a woman,
female officer.
Yes.
She also beats
the female officer. So this woman needs to be locked up.
Like
both of them, the politician woman and this particular woman in Lagos, both of them, they need to be locked up. They need to face the law. I don't know why the court takes a lot of time in addressing issues like this. Hello, graciousness. Why do they do that? Why do people think that pain is only for one gender to express? I mean, this is Women's Month. Pain is only no. As a human being, you have the right to express your feelings, and you don't deserve any form of abuse from any person. So I don't understand.
I think it's a very, very.
You look at this man. Did you humanize the man?
And toxic culture. Not only even in Africa, these first 2 stories obviously happened in Nigeria, but it's like whenever you hear of stories where a guy will say their girlfriend is beating them or their wife is tormenting them at home and whatnot, people usually laugh about it until it gets to the extreme point of, oh, this woman will kill this man one day. People usually laugh about it. So people who are going through this, or men who are going through this, they will be feeling ashamed because like, how can I go and tell my colleague or my fellow guys,
or my
family, see how they allow my wife beats me. So sometimes they don't even see it as their wife is business. Like they see it as it's something that they are allowing to happen.
Yeah. Or that, hey, well, I feel embarrassed as a man to go to the police station to go and talk.
Yes.
Hey, Asi, darling.
Yo, Asi is the best
wedding planner ever. And
on the YouTube streets, Simple Nigeria.
Those of you that are in diaspora planning, you want to marry.
Go see Asi's channel.
Go to Asi's YouTube channel. Start Asi, darling. Go and be watching all the wonders he's been doing. Post marriage and weddings.
Crypto magic is saying women they pound men like pounded yam, never end up in that situation. Exactly.
Yeah. It's very sad.
How can this man since 2017, this man, where's his face? Where is his face on the screen? Mr. David. I had to put sunglasses on his eye.
Yeah.
How can this man, his wife has been beating him since
suffering.
2017? He has been to court in Abuja. Everything. The woman came, disrupted the practice, the proceedings of the process.
Yes.
Even the judge died, leave the case for the matter. Yet his lawyers are still going back and forth with the police. If somebody's life is in danger, is the police not supposed to do something about it?
Fast. That woman
you should not even wait to have lawyer that will be going back and forth with you. And she's there going on her Facebook talking about the man and transferring money back and forth to his account so that it look as if whether he's stealing the money or
because
something.
Because she has a useless business. Where did they say about useless business? Wonder
herbal tea.
Yeah.
And you don't wonder how you have such a crazy behavior. Very true.
They need to be taking this thing very, very serious. Anything about domestic violence case and all, the people who are perpetrators, they should be locking them up.
Exactly.
Why do you have to put somebody on? Why do you have to bail somebody? Okay, somebody will say because of the law. But in life, it's endangered. Is there no clause in the law where you're supposed to protect the victim?
They say Nigeria.
You're supposed to protect the victim. Look at the one that is saying that her husband is not impregnating her. You kidnap your husband.
You are beating
him. You are poking his head. You beat a policewoman like yourself. Then you are lying.
After you drain that man, how do you expect that kind of
person
him
of all this
to want to impregnate you? And I'm even glad that he's not even impregnated. He's not coming anywhere. To you, because if you're already a tyrant to a man like this, little we wonder how you will be to the child that you want to toxic in your stomach. If you're already beating somebody, are you wondering why you don't have kids of your own?
Graciousness,
crazy.
Yes, graciousness is saying something. Graciousness is saying, I hear that some men, bobos, that's what men mean. They kill themselves because of embarrassment or because of some.
They feel isolated.
Yes,
it's not easy for the men and for the very, 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 very.
That's what the first case of the politician, the lawyer is saying that the man is going through psychological trauma.
Yeah. How can you beat somebody like this? You kidnap, you send someone to kidnap, they stab the man. Look, just how can you subject a full human being since 20 when the last proceedings happened in December of 2021, not too far.
Yes. December 7th.
This is the 3rd month of the year. So since 2017, this man has been going through this ordeal. Then the other one was 2018, beating her husband for not impregnating her. For not impregnating her. Now you will think that this only happens in marriages. Before we even start with the story number 3, as he's saying, other women that shout about DV in women are sometimes strangely quiet about the ones affecting men. Exactly. Fellow men even mock them for speaking up. Exactly.
Masculinity.
Perfect. Your answer. Response is correct.
Perfect. Toxic masculinity. Embarrassing the man. Some men will have to go into taking drugs or drinking to numb their pain. They will be crying. They cannot express themselves emotionally. Nobody will take them serious.
It's different if, for example, you're a woman and you can go and tell your girlfriends, female group members, that this was happening in your home or whatever. If a man should go and do that, I'm sure the first will say, why are you allowing your wife with you? And you they allow. Woman, they talk to you like this, you allow. You don't know you're the man. You don't know you're the man. You don't know you're the man. If a woman is a tyrant in the relationship and the man is crying out for help, should we not be protecting the victim regardless of the gender? Is that not what makes our society a better place?
Yeah.
Why would the police not take this case seriously?
Yeah.
I don't understand why the lawyer should people be going back and forth to be saying people should hear us out to our clients' mental health is important to our this is this. So why does it even need law? Is the state not supposed to protect this man
and prosecute the woman? This toxic Honorable Sharon. Why? I don't
honorable that is behaving in a dishonorable way.
A Nick Agawine. Why would you cause so much damage to somebody like this?
And for this thing about abuse, some people think that it only has to be physical. Before it even gets physical,
it's emotional.
There are other consequences. And this does not only happen in marriages. So we put a link there for anybody who wants to come in if you have anything to say about this topic. But as I'm waiting for people, we will start with the 3rd story. And that one is even in a relationship, boyfriend and girlfriend relationship. You will see this one there.
So these first 2, they happen in marriage.
These first 2, they are in marriage. The first one, which is this man on the screen, Mr. David, being beaten by his wife, who was a politician in Nigeria. The second story is the
relationship.
is beating her husband for not impregnating her. Now, this third story we're going to talk
boyfriend
about
and girlfriend.
His boyfriend and girlfriend.
He said, toxic girlfriend poured hot water on me after I refused to give her money.
This is the third
entitlement entitlement to another person's pocket and money.
Entitlement is deep. So should we
yes.
start reading this one?
Yes.
Okay, give me 1 second. All right, please. Story number 3.
So story number 3 goes like this. He said, Odi Praise is a Nigerian man, and he has spoken about the terrifying experience in the hands of his toxic girlfriend. He wrote on Facebook. He said, I remember, Odi said, describing how a lady nearly peeled his skin with boiling hot water. I remember when I was dating one Ebonyi girl called Nkechi. The girl was a drama queen. The last drama shocked me like an electric shock. Nkechi begged me for 30,000 naira, and I refused to give her because a night before she refused to give me the thing.
So she probably refused to sleep with us.
Yeah, have sex. So I left and went to work and returned very tired. When she saw me, she beamed with smile at me. It was so unusual. Like, how will an Igbo girl smile with you after you refuse to give her money? Impossible. I knew she had a plan, but I couldn't figure it out. So I kept quiet and went into my room to undress. Some minutes later, she walked in and said, babe, your bathing water is ready and your food is on the dining. I stared at her and told her I wasn't impressed. I don't understand. I won't give you the money. You are acting too nice. Don't think your jazz will catch me this time. Can't I treat you well again? Must it be because of money? She asked me. I then took a deep breath and went inside the bathroom. My water was there waiting for me. I was so happy, even though I knew she was up to something. I untied my towel and then dipped my hands inside the water. Chai! The water was very hot. It was like the water they use in removing chicken feathers. I kept on calling, Nkechi, and she didn't answer me. When I tried to open the door, this girl already locked me inside the bathroom. I pushed and pushed, but the door refused to open. I had to stand there and wait for the water to get cold before taking my bath. After bathing, I pushed the door and it opened just like magic. She said she didn't hear me calling. I got angry and told her to leave my house. Unlike her, she didn't protest. She picked up her things and left quietly. 3 days later, my 2 neighbors came to me asking for their money. They said the money I sent my girlfriend to come and collect. When I asked each of them how much it was, they said 10,000 naira. I called in kitchen to confirm. She affirmed, saying, and I quote, "Na relationship levy. This a fair woman. This one never see toxic."
Story number 3. Entitlement to a man's money. You prepare hot water for him to bathe. Boiling hot water. He's screaming in pain. You lock him inside. You leave. You go and collect money from 3 different neighbors because if you don't give it 10,000 naira, you go and make sure that it's owing neighbors, and then you say levy for exiting relationship. I don't understand all these kind of things. So
the man ran, Junior. That's why he's sharing his story.
I don't understand all these kind of things.
You collected debt in somebody else's name because he refused to give you his own money.
So you're not able.
So imagine if the man did not
abuse now.
Yes,
and emotional abuse.
Extortion. Imagine if the man did not put his hand to check the bucket of water, and he just decided to carry a pail can and then poured the water on his body. So that's how he would have peeled up his skin.
It's only his hand that is obviously kind of burnt, sore or whatever because of the whatever from the. And you know when hot water, when something hot or something happens, hot water, you have to run your hand under cold. Yeah. But you locked that man in the bathroom.
You locked him.
Because of is it your 30,000 naira?
Is it your 30,000 naira? Agowine. Graciousness is saying some people they experience emotional, mental, and psychological abuse. However, I never want to say that the problem when women experience is comparable with that of man. They are not the same scale. We are not comparing.
No problem is of the same scale. We are just saying that
but
if there is a victim, regardless of the gender, they should be treated as victims/survivors, and the perpetrators of the crime should bear the full wrath of whatever the lawful consequences are. That's what it is. If a man is beaten, for example, now you have some men where their wives have not been able to conceive or give them children, and they are domestically abusing the wife.
Woman.
They are physically beating the wife. That's wrong. She should be persecuted. Same also like the woman in the second story who is beating her husband for not impregnating for her, impregnating her.
That one
She
should
also
be
should
prosecuted.
face whatever amount of law.
Equal amount of consequences, regardless of the gender.
No two problems can even be compared, regardless of race. One woman might be experiencing beating in her marriage. The reasons might be different from another woman who's also experiencing beating. So it's like
a man can be experiencing verbal abuse
different,
and another man is experiencing physical abuse.
They're all abuse.
They're all abuse.
Egosa is saying, let's talk about toxic masculinity and toxic.
Oh yeah,
Egosa, you are
seeing into the future. That video is dropping next week.
Speaking about that, I hope people have been catching up to our feminist videos. We forgot to talk about that. Anyways, let's focus on the story.
Junior, where did you run to?
Junior, you disappeared. Is it your network? Please click on the live on the link if you want to call in. Yeah, put the link in there for these first 3 stories. These first 3 stories, 2 of them are married. The third one is not married.
And he left the toxic
3
relationship.
of them, he left toxic relationship. 3 of them are still living. The last story, we'll wait for people to come in and
share their
opinion, and then we'll talk about the last one is more emotional, and it's something that happened literally on Thursday here.
Yeah, the Australian story.
The Australian story, which many people should have, like, I mean, if you're on social media and if you watch the news, you should have heard about it.
Toxic masculinity, we did it.
We've done a
video about it, but it's dropping next week.
Yeah, this week or next week. Yeah.
Next week.
Yeah, we've done a video about toxic masculinity.
And it's dropping next week.
It's all part of the Women's Month history stories.
Yeah, it's all part of it. I think there's some part of our culture that is really
unkind
to men. Yeah. And the men also, they are unkind to themselves. Because some of them embrace this toxic masculinity and some of them use it whenever they see fit. So like when you have your fellow guy that will come and tell you this is what his wife is doing to him, why gaslight him? By saying, guy, you mess up. Suppose handle this woman. And some of these men that are talking, they're also dealing with them in the house. You know, why can't we be there for one another and listen and look for a way to profess solution and look for a way to save the victims, to protect the victims, regardless of their gender? Because I cannot understand it.
My problem with the third story itself is that it's very, very weird. Because the
boiling hot water in the kitchen.
The night before they refuse sex. You as man, you say because you refuse sex from me, I will not give you money. Of which is his money, he has the right to give whoever. Nobody's entitled to anybody's money. Then you as girlfriend, you are behaving nice, cooking food for him and
setting traps in your mind
in a bid that he will burn himself from the hot water and then he would have collected.
You will cash out.
I don't know how people think. It's like people I don't know if our live show did not show many people. Anyways,
they can refresh. They can refresh back. So not be by force, graciousness. 30,000 naira. Yes.
Then you say that it's relationship levy.
That's what she said. This is not
exiting relationship levy. I did not know that women used to collect money for leaving.
She said, "Now my relationship levy. Fear woman, this one never see toxic. Can you imagine? Is it your money? Like I don't know. I don't know if Odi ended up paying for me. Those neighbors, you will go and collect your money because when they say somebody collected money in my name, that one doesn't concern me. That one doesn't concern me. You're getting me? That doesn't concern me,
man.
So as people are piping in and getting ready to be calling me, we need to go. Okay. I see a ghost and Junior.
Is something wrong with our link? Because it appears that some people are not able to be coming and
we'll be adding them.
Please. Okay, Junior, we have you. You are in the show, and Egosa is here too.
So, Junior,
we can hear you.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. How you guys doing?
We're doing well.
I think one of the reasons why this man has not gotten justice is because this issue is happening in Nigeria, and like you guys clearly stated, this woman is she's a powerful politician. And like I said in the comment section, if a man comes and tells even his fellow man, let's say for example in the office that going through domestic violence, my wife beats me and all that, first of all, that person is going to laugh.
Yes.
He's going to laugh. So he's not even going to take you very seriously. So these things are underreported. But my advice to the man is that, first of all, he needs to remove himself from that relationship. Yeah, exactly. Like going to court an issue. Obviously, you can see there is no justice for the poor in this situation. She's a powerful politician. The judge that is presiding on the case has passed away, he or she. And so there is a lot of dragging to court. And obviously, if this is happening in the diaspora, he must have gotten justice by now. And she's saying that she wants a child. How do you even try to sleep with someone that has taken a lot of...
the one that wants a child is for the second story.
Okay.
Couple, and they are based in Lagos. So the politician one is based in Abuja.
Junior, I get you. If a man is not happy, it is automatic impotency in the bedroom. That's it.
Yeah, and I used to tell people, and I still maintain it, that the greatest need of a man is not food, it is not sex, it is respect. It is respect. So he doesn't get the respect from the wife. So there is no love. So the woman is beating the husband. And one of the things that I want to say is the fact that, again, I don't understand if the man didn't see how domineering this woman was before they decided to get married. Because I want to believe that it's always good in the beginning. Anything that is always good in the beginning, that is what starts, something has to be good in the beginning for you to actually say yes and continue it. So I do understand that some men like women that are domineering, but you can be domineering and be power controlling, but not to the point where you are beating on the man that you call your husband. He's been attacked so many times and, which almost took his life, but it's disappointing. Like, I think my advice to him, if I know who this guy is just, first of all, forget about the court for now, because I don't even know if he's going to get the justice. So just remove yourself from that. And if it means you running away from the marriage, even if you don't live with any money, just leave. Your life is more important at this point than you trying to me, at this point, and based on the article you guys read, I think this is just an irreconcilable differences, and their matter is already in court, and this is not even what a family members can fix. The marriage should just be dissolved and let them go. But in the meantime, if you want it to be done like in a legal procedure, it might take time, and again, it might cost the man his life. As you can see, the judge has already passed away.
Yeah, and he was kidnapped and beaten. For the first story, the man was kidnapped and beaten. And we will be putting the links in the description box. So in case if anybody wants to go and read and catch up, you can do that in the future. Yeah. That's why we also added the next story with one of the girlfriend, that there is that girlfriend relationship. But he sent her out of the house. So he did not wait to see what more this woman can do. If she can make boiling hot water for me, I put my hand inside the water, my hand is burning. She knocks me inside the toilet, leaving me there. To wait for the water to calm down and the injury, and borrows 10,000 naira from 3 different neighbors in my name. It's like you will not have to wait to marry that person to see the worst that he can do. So I get what Junior is saying about waiting to leave.
Yeah, let him just leave. Let him just leave.
Okay. Thank you, Junior. Egosa, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I am with Junior. Let him leave. Yeah, let him leave. Let him leave. Yeah, he has the choice to leave. Okay. Where do I even start? Okay. The issue with domestic violence against men is that, right? If a woman is experiencing domestic violence, it's like dog bites man. So it's horrible, but it will not raise eyebrows in society that, okay, a woman beats up a man. You understand that the woman is facing facing domestic violence. But if a woman beats a man, it's like man bites dog. It will make news, right? Yeah. So a dog bites man doesn't really make news. Okay, we are used to hearing women experiencing domestic violence, but now man bites dog. Oh, it's big news. Now a man is experiencing domestic violence, and now from the from this societal perspective, men cannot speak out because of the shame. And mind you, women who beat up men, what if it's women who beat up men, know that these men will not report because of the shame. Because of the shame, because of the way the men are groomed, you understand? So these women know that that men will not report domestic violence, that the chances of men reporting is almost 0%. So it gives these women, the upper hand to carry out their violence uncontrolled against these men. Yeah, you see. So in this case, men also should follow the same advice women who experience domestic violence are being given. Leave, just like how Junior said earlier on. Leave. If a man you're experiencing domestic violence, you leave, because the impact is the same. There is no Superman in a domestic violence situation. There is no Superman. If you're experiencing domestic violence, you leave, because it breaks you the same. The same way a woman experiences domestic violence is the same way the man experiences. We're all human beings at the end of the day. So this man, for the first story, the man is experiencing two predicaments.
Yes.
He got married to a very powerful woman. Secondly, the woman is abusing him and he cannot report. And even if he reports, they'll only laugh at him, they'll instead blame the victim. You be man, a whole man, they beat you, Yeah. So he should leave. Yeah, he should leave the relationship.
So the whole point is, the whole point is the fact that if the man is waiting for to get a legal divorce, not even justice, like to do it in a legal process about getting the divorce before, so that he will know that I'm done with her, he might actually lose his life in the process. So just like we tell ladies, I mean, if you're going to stay in a home where a man beats you and you're going to wait until you get a divorce before he might die in the process. So the same goes to him. So let him leave. Let him go to a hiding place where he cannot be seen. So
unfortunately, in Nigeria, we don't have shelters for domestic violence and all those things.
It's still possible.
You move to another states, because they will always find him in Abuja.
No, I mentioned shelters because maybe that's the only home they have built together. You understand? Maybe he doesn't really have anywhere to go to. So how? Because it's a topic for it's a whole topic for another day. Yeah, it's a whole topic for another day, because it's easy for us to say victim of domestic violence should leave, but to where? But I'm sorry, that's another topic. But the best thing for him to do is to leave, because it may not end well. Like that story, like the third story, the Australian guy,
Yes, we're going to talk about the Australian guy, and that will be the last story for today. We have Yachman in the house. Yachman, please unmute yourself so we can hear you.
How are you guys doing today?
We're doing good. How are you?
Hi.
Yeah, I know, it's been a minute. Yeah, I was just at the backdrop listening for a minute. From Wisconsin, United States.
Okay.
But so, first of all, I don't mind, but I like to disagree with the last speaker about men dealing with, having the same feelings about violence with like women. I think that is, I wouldn't say it's not true, but I would say society, the way, because first of all, you suppose as a man, it's like, let me just put it this way. It's like a man saying, my uncle used to work for the FBI before he retired, and we used to make this old joke about, imagine a man running into a police station and saying, "Man, I was raped by 5 beautiful women." You know that the black man, you got 5 women to. So the way man processes the rape is very different, because society expects him to be strong at all times. So you might have to bottle it in for a long period of time, and when it explodes, it gets violent. So what we see with men, even my own friends or people that are around me, I've noticed is that they deal with that emotion, but the issue is that it stays inside for a longer period of time, and when they've had enough, it turns violent too. So when they respond to that victimhood, they tend to also commit even more havoc than the initial damage. So that's the women process is quite different from the way women process it too. So that's just my minor disagreement with the last speaker.
Yeah, Yachman, were you referring to me, Egosa?
Yeah, you mentioned something about men.
Okay.
Quite different.
Okay. Yeah. Can I comment?
Right. Go ahead.
Yes, please.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. So the thing is this. I agree with what you said, but I still maintain that their experience are the same. The emotional torture they go through is the same. You understand? That was the point of view that I was talking about. And okay, then you made a point that the men may latch out, may exhibit some violent behavior at the end. Women also do that. Because for me, women also do that. We have heard a lot of story, hundreds and thousands of story where women delete their male partners
Right.
for example, in self-defense, or the man will be sleeping, they'll pour hot water because you understand. So at the end of the day, it all depends on the individual how they react.
Yeah, but
it's not gender, gender specific.
Yeah, let me
because women also get violent. Men also, some men will react, some men will walk away.
No.
Some women will react, some women will walk away. So
no, I'm with you. My point is that men don't have the same support system like women do.
I agree with you 100%.
So
I agree
like
with you.
I work with men that they will walk overtime because they don't want to go home. They're dealing with that same issue, but they cannot open up to people like that because first of all, as a man, if you say your wife is beating you up or you're having issues with your spouse, it's that that you're a failure as a man. It makes you look weak.
Yes.
So the man's ego is on the line here too.
Yes.
Number two, who are you going to talk to that you've been beaten up by your wife? Physical abuse.
Mm-hmm.
So men, we don't have that support system. Women are naturally better at networking. Men are not good with that.
Yeah.
So when the man is dealing with issues like that, and he boils out and he does something valid, trust me, he's been through a lot to get to that point. To say, you know what, fuck it, I've had it.
I think what you and Egosa, what Yachman and Egosa are saying on the same lines is true.
Yeah, the same thing. Yeah, I'm with Yachman 100%. Yeah.
You're saying the same thing. There's something called battered woman syndrome, and that's when a woman has been beaten so much that when she cannot take it anymore, she goes ahead and she kills one way or the other. Mm-hmm. I do not know if there's anything called battered man syndrome, but I think Yachman is saying something along the lines of those parts of saying that when a woman is being abusive towards her husband, in this case, the woman is beating the husband. If he's not able to take it anymore, he can become violent himself and also retaliate back. So you have some men who kill themselves, but you have some men who end up killing their wives. So that's, if I'm understanding correctly, I think both of you are kind of saying the same thing. And we're all agreeing that the support is not the same for men, regardless of where they are in the world, because you'll be laughed at. We've had stories on this platform talking about, the boy child being raped. For example, it doesn't get as much attention as when it's a female child or a woman that it happens to. The same thing like what Yashua was saying about a man can say he's been raped by a woman and people won't take him seriously. It's very, very true.
And the fear of being laughed at is due to toxic masculinity, because a man shouldn't, it's toxic masculinity because men expect you to be man enough, to man up. I don't even know what man up means. I don't even know what man enough means. I understand what it means, but I don't really understand what it means at the same time to man up.
I can tell you.
Man up to talk up your emotions.
To man up is toxic masculinity. All those phrases, man up, be man enough, you are not man enough. That's toxic masculinity. To man up is also toxic masculinity,
And I have a question. I'm really appreciative of the fact that you men are calling in to talk. So maybe your fellow men, when they hear you, and they hear what's coming out from your mouth or your contribution, they will also be encouraged.
Mm-hmm.
My question as a lady is, why is it that sometimes men don't give their fellow men the support when they are entrapped in this type of situation? Like you talked about the toxic masculinity, Egosa, right? So why is it that a guy will talk to his fellow guy or his guys that, see what my woman is doing to me, oh, I'm trying to, why is it that some of them, it gets brushed aside and covered up with maybe like video games or like drinking
or
and the issue is not really addressed like man to man, like suggestions and all that. Why?
Let me address that as a clinician. Okay, let me address that. Well, I'm more acute here, but let me address as a clinician. So, science proves that oftentimes as men, when we go through depression, sometimes or issues related to violence, we tend to deviate towards drugs, alcohol, and gaming.
Mm-hmm.
So oftentimes when a man is knee deep in alcoholism, drug use, is dealing with issues like that you just brought up. So it challenges his energy, his frustration towards something else. One of the reasons why men don't oftentimes share that with other men, or we don't deal with that collective, is, like I mentioned earlier, we're not good at that social interaction. It speaks to that toxic masculinity you're supposed to man up, like as I said earlier. But also it's part of when it comes to a man's wife or family, men are very sensitive. That we're very territorial too. So a man does not feel like he's encroaching your space, especially if you never liked your girl in the first place. Like, man, you shouldn't have dated this girl. I have a bad feeling about her. She doesn't like me. So that's I like you as a friend, but that's your part. And once you have a kid with somebody, there's limited to what you can share with other people. So people tend to stay clear of that. Number two is also the society where you live in. So if you live in a very matriarchal, patriarchal society, that tends to factor in that. So, and also number three, it also depends on how much the man is willing to devote to his friends. Even if I know, as a man, even if I know you're going through it, if you don't open up, I'm going to assume that you're strong enough to deal with it.
So if the men don't ask, their friends cannot.
Like women, women actually
just talk. Women talk,
what's going on now? You're not looking like guys don't act that way. Even if I see it, until the guys is open up to say, "Oh man, something is going on with me." Because we had like in 2015, I was working in this hospital as a clinician at nighttime, and we were leaving at 7 o'clock in the morning. The story's online. If you Google it, you'll see somebody killed the nurse, right? And we walk into the parking lot. Everybody says bye, and all we hear is a gunshot. Pa, 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 pa. And these are Nigerian families, okay? Turns out this man was waiting for his Nigerian wife at the parking lot and shot her in the head. So we went back and listened to because in America the post did not be taped online. Did not want to do a post. So apparently the guy at home killed the three kids in the bathtub, came to the hospital, killed his wife, and called her and said, "You know what? Come and take me. I've killed my wife and I've killed the kids."
Was this a voice note of? Was this
No. When you call 911, they can post the audio online. They post the audio.
Yeah, was this story from an audio online that the Nigerian man is a nurse?
No. The wife was a healthcare.
Okay.
So he killed his wife, but part of the story was that they were going through a lot. He felt like he sent her to school, did everything. Now she's abusing him. On top of that, she took the house from him, took the kids. He lost everything, and he's even bringing guys to the home he's paying mortgage for. So he got out of control. So what I'm saying is that men don't usually react until that they've been pushed to the wall. Like, man, I don't have any choice anymore. But to speak to the point I was making earlier is that there's nobody to share that thing with. Apparently, it's not been sharing with anybody. And number two, as Africans too, men or women, let me just make this point real quick. As a clinician, Africans, once they hear the word therapy, it's like some kind of demonic force. They don't want to talk to anybody. Like, this sounds crazy. Trust me. Sometimes you need to speak to someone.
Mm-hmm.
Therapy is good. There's nothing wrong, especially men. So we are very allergic to the word therapy. And even my friends that are psychologists and they speak to the African men, when they first come in and they form that macho man and they break them down, it's amazing what they come out with. They've been dealing with so much stress from family, friends, society, kids, wife. The pressure on them is so enormous. And I think that maybe we should also talk more about the need for Africans to the therapy as an option.
Unfortunately, Archman, they think spirituality instead of therapy. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I'm not saying you should not go to a pastor. God is good all the time. Amen. I know that. But sometimes we all need professional help from time to time. It does not mean we're crazy. Yeah.
Just to interject before either Junior or Egosa answer Yoyo's question of why men don't speak about these things or they don't have support groups amongst their friends, graciousness is saying that if the friend is suffering in his own house, how can he expect the friend to be able to help him? So that's another thing. If you have two friends that maybe
they don't both of them are suffering,
both of them are in pain, but both of them don't even express it. So is there actually what is true friendship for them? If the friendship is if you cannot tell your guy like
but let me answer that real quick. But that's limited by your experience too. Like I just said, it's cultural, right? Yeah. If I'm supposed to man up, and I'm so it's like it's limited by my cultural experience.
Yeah.
That's why you need professional help sometimes. Talk to someone, even if it's just talk to someone. You know.
And the Archman, and that phrase man up means that man up simply means that bottle it up inside. You understand? So man up means that don't talk about it, be strong, but keep it inside. Just bottle it up inside of you, and at the end of the day, you explode.
Very, very true, Egosa. That's the extreme height of toxic masculinity. I remember taking courses about that in school, and it's like toxic masculinity, man up, all of them on the line, all end up with violence. And that's how like the boy child is also raised. It's like if there's no solution for anything, they're not allowed to channel all their emotions. The man cannot cry. He cannot
Ella, you're already answering my. You're already entering into my contribution. But let Junior say something. He's been quite for quite a while.
I'm a very good listener, so I like to listen. So
okay, yes, Junior, please let's go on with you.
Yeah, I think it depends on the kind of friend that you have. It's not that it does not necessarily mean that if you are talking to your fellow male friend about what is going on in your home, how depressed you are, that he will not listen to you. Or like you earlier said, what is the meaning of the true friendship if your friend cannot listen to you? And one of the things I also want to say is the fact that sometimes when you complain about your friends, even if you're a lady, you're complaining about DV and stuff like that. When it's not physical, people don't necessarily take it serious. A lot of these things are emotional.
Yeah.
A lot of can you just imagine if, let's say, I come to work maybe with bruises and stuff like this, and I'm being asked by my colleague what happened. I'm like, my wife beat me up last night. Like, first of all, I might call him, and say I'm not able to come to work. So I think that's
that conversation will never happen.
Exactly. So
my
just
wife
like
beat me up, it will never happen.
It will never happen. So that's just the Yakman said. There is no what is the word? It's not.
There's no support system.
Exactly. There is no support system to actually help men, and even the man will go through a lot emotionally. And if you think about, okay, what is people going to say? Who is going to believe me? And people are going to laugh at me. And the according to what Ibosa was saying, that they will tell you to man it up. Man it up could mean a lot of things. It could be just deal with it. Go home and fix your family. Go home and just handle your shit and stuff like that. So when you don't have support system to actually look into it and get the right counseling that you need, it is just an accumulating factor that eventually is going to overfill, and the outcome will not be will not be trivial. So
Okay. To address Junior's point about the support system, let me just speak something real quick. It also depends on who you're married to. So sometimes if you're married to a narcissist, one of the red flags of a narcissist is that they destroy your support system while you're dating.
Oh yeah.
So anybody that they know that can support you when you're weak, they find a way to get rid of them. So that by the time they get to you, you're already weak. So they know who your go-to people are. So they'll find a way to destroy those relationships before they start doing what they're doing. So you need to also watch for classes of a narcissist when you're dating, so you don't end up with a wrong person. You don't have a female.
Very, very true. Thank you so much. So before we forget the last year, which is very most important one today, because that person actually died. So we're going to Australia. And the first,
so you can unmute
yourself. We'll narrate the story. Give me a second, and then we'll talk about. I have it here on here. Okay. Yes, I believe everybody can see us.
Yeah, so everybody can see. So as you can see on your screen, this is a handsome looking man. Obviously he's an Arsenal fan, and his name is Mr. Stanley Obi. Stanley Obi, I believe, obviously he's from Nigeria. I believe he hails from the eastern part of Nigeria, right? What we know and we've researched about Stanley Obi in the past few days is that Mr. Stanley Obi,
that's his LinkedIn profile.
That's his LinkedIn profile you can see on the screen. He's living in Australia. He was living in Australia at the time. He went to University of Queensland, where he got his graduate diploma in public health distinction. And he went ahead to further his education to become a nurse. So he's a registered nurse who has been working as a care manager with a company called Avio Group. Now, Mr. Stanley Obi is described by his friend as someone who is loving and compassionate. Mr. Stanley Obi, he was in a relationship with a certain Australian lady called Susan Mudge. Sarah Mudge? I think it's Sarah Mudge. That's her name.
Sarah, yeah.
That's the person on the screen, Sarah Mudge. Together, their relationship produced 3 children between the ages of 5, 3, and 2. Now, Sarah here, at some point in time in their relationship, it became a toxic one. According to the report, it says that they had taken out domestic violence order against each other. So they were in court battling custody for their children. I will read it here. So a man whose jilted ex-girlfriend broke into his house has died in the hospital. Sarah here, we are told that from the report that Mr. Stanley Obi bought a land in 2019 somewhere in Australia. And that land, he was building a house, which he completed and moved in with his current girlfriend. According to the details, he said, in the early hours of Thursday morning, Stanley Obi slept next to his partner in the couple's new home in Perth. His scorned ex-girlfriend was plotting a twisted attack. Sarah Mudge had crept into the property where Mr. Obi and his new girlfriend were beginning a new chapter of their lives. She carried petrol that would be poured over the 33-year-old and his partner. In another room there, 3 of Mudge's children slept peacefully. Mr. Obi had recently won custody of the children. As Sarah Mudge began throwing the petrol around, friends say Mr. Obi performed an act of bravery by shielding his family. That likely saved the life of his partner. Mudge is believed to have set her former lover alight in an act of rage that would end his life. She would also die inside the house as it burned down. But Mr. Obi's new girlfriend and his 3 children, they managed to escape. It was supposed to be, according to his colleague, it was supposed to be a day to mark the beginning of a new chapter in Mr. Obi's life after he won custody of his 2 children and guardianship of his 3rd child. It has been reported that the mother of 3 somehow gained entry into this house and decided to perform this heinous act. Sarah, on her own, when we were researching and we saw her Facebook profile,
we dug into straight back to 2019, where we saw
back to 2019.
She had comments with some of Mr. Obi's family members in the comment section. It looked like a happy family in the past, at least.
You know, And somehow, what had happened is that she has also posted about her children. At the time before this custody final hearing, she was homeschooling the children. In the relationship, I think she also came into the relationship at the time with children from a previous relationship. So, but with Mr. Stanley, they had three children. Police are alleging that Mr. Obi was a victim of the suspected domestic violence attack that was carried out by this 31-year-old lady. They don't really know details about what's going on, but they're alleging that the domestic orders that they took out against each other. Unfortunately, Mr. Stanley Obi is said to have suffered severe burns to 90% of his body, with the police confirming that he died at 10 p.m. So the attack started at 3 a.m. and then he died at 10 p.m. Between that time, one of his neighbor, Al, tried to rescue them, and he was with Mr. Obi while they were waiting for the ambulance and the fire service that came in about 35 minutes late.
Yes, let me look for a picture of the neighbors. So these are the neighbors on the screen where my mouse is stepping over. This man, Al, was the one who was able to drag Mr. Stanley away from the house, but he had to wait for 35 minutes before the ambulance came.
And he said Mr. Obi was saying, tell them,
I'm a critical one or something, and
because he's a nurse, so he was fighting for his life. He was in so much pain. He was in so much pain. This woman, this ex-girlfriend, on her Facebook page, she has gone to like some fan page that campaigns, they call them the Red Heart Campaign, which has been established to commemorate every domestic and family violence related death in Australia. So she's a fan of this page, but you can see now that she committed the same crime that she's a fan of advocating against. Now check this out. 9 weeks prior to this incident, she had posted on Facebook a cryptic message, relationship rules. She had said, and I quote, "She's not toxic, bro," she wrote. "You made her like that. Now you think she's crazy. Your decisions reflect her actions. Check yourself." It's very sad because even though the current girlfriend and the 3 children are not physically hurt, but obviously they're facing the whole psychological trauma and they've not been able to speak with them. His colleagues at work on Friday, they woke up to the bad news of their own colleague, Mr. Stanley Obi, that has died, and they decided to start raising funds to target towards helping the children, which is very nice of them. And his friend, as according to the article, will say they described Mr. Obi as a loving and a kind man, a compassionate person. You can see that he's a family-oriented person.
Man.
A hardworking man.
Bought the land to the house in 2019.
He's just
built that property. They've only been there for 6 months. Even Sarah is said to be a photographer, only child of her family. But she's had these numerous kids, and she says she loves her children. But one would wonder, how can a mother who so loves her children render them orphan?
And then what about the impact on Mr. Stanley Obi's family who are in Nigeria? It is a very painful, very, very painful situation.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we're missing any
house.
I don't think we're missing any other thing about the case. Just in summary, this is Mr. Stanley Obi, and then we have some videos online, and which we will put them in the description box, as well as links to all the stories where apparently in their community, in this Australian place, I can't remember the name, New Birth, the domestic violence has been a thing actually, because the premier came to speak about the whole situation and all of that. So for this last story, this is just the sad situation whereby this man has died. There's no other way to sugarcoat this thing. The children have to suffer from this trauma of remembering that their mother is the one that caused this crime, the neighbors in the community, everything just going on. Stanley having to suffer for 17 hours before he died. I mean, it took the fire service, if you can see, 2 hours to put out the fire. Where the video is right here. To put out the fire. So it's like from that night time until morning time, and they've not been able to interview the girlfriend or the children yet to kind of ascertain what really happened, apart from the fact that Stanley got full custody of all the children. That's only. However,
sorry, ladies. Stanley was never married to Sarah, correct?
No, he was never. They weren't married.
They were just partners. They were long-term relationship.
They were just cohabiting, and they had 3 children, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So that's the last story, and then
Let me remove it from the screen so that everybody can come back. Give me a second.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, the floor is open.
Did somebody leave by mistake? Oh, I think we
Junior,
lost Junior. Okay, I'm gonna put it back in for Junior. And anybody who feels like coming in to chime in.
That's it's quite unfortunate to see that happen. Oh, go ahead, Junior. Go ahead.
Okay. First of all, may life not happen to us in Jesus' name. Amen. Let me just put it that way. I'm telling you, because this is terrible. The reason why I asked that question was because I was going to lean towards divorce, but they were not married, so this was not a divorce thing. See,
before you go on, they had filed domestic claims against each other. At least the police knew about that, but they've not told the public what those claims were. So they are not really.
Even if they were not married, but we don't know. I don't know about Australia if they recognize long-term relationship.
You mean common law? You mean common law?
Yeah, like. Yeah, I don't know if they recognize it because it's as good as it's as good as marriage as well.
Carry on, Junior. Sorry.
Yeah, it's as good as marriage. But the thing is that you have to understand something. There is no good way to end a relationship.
There is no
relationship. Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is that sometimes when the court has awarded him the custody of the kids and not the mother, which is the Sarah. So she's very angry and bitter. If I can't have you, no one else will have you. That's pretty much what she's saying. If I can't have you, no one else will have you. She's thinking about the investment. She's thinking about, how long they have been together. They had 3 kids together. And the guy is saying, okay, I do not want to have anything to do with you anymore. Move on with your life. I have found a new life. He's living his new home. And you think as a guy, it is okay. It is, it has ended and the court has awarded me the custody. But the thing is that people are evil. People are evil because I think she orchestrated this whole thing. She planned it. She waited for them to go to sleep. She somehow made her way into the house and made sure, and I'm sure she was around to make sure that they actually got burnt.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
She died. She didn't survive it. So she poured the gas petrol on them, according to the neighbor who had gone to try and rescue, right? But Stanley
covered his family and the girlfriend, the current girlfriend was able to get away with the kids. In one of the news videos where we watched, the neighbor had said that they could smell petrol on the children's body. So we're going to put all the links to all our sources in the description box for people who want to do further research. And for saying that she kind of premeditated this thing, it's also possible because on other news articles that we read, they had been asking questions about how to speak to frogs and some strange.
So she was, so to clarify, she was also trying to kill the kids too.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Can I come in for a brief moment?
Yes.
The rest of us, please try and mute our mics.
If somebody is talking, somebody please mute your mic if you're not talking so that it doesn't bounce.
Yeah, I'll be brief. There are a lot of people now, so I'll be brief. Okay, yeah. I just want us to go pre the incident, right? Okay. Now it's speculation. The lady is there, the guy is there, so we might not know what actually happened. Yeah, but I just want to let's go for a bit of speculation. Okay, this incident. We talked about walking away. Junior talked about walking away. Yachman talked about walking away. I quite agree. We all agree that it's good to walk away, and I want to guarantee, even I can go for about 100% that this incident did not happen in isolation. I believe that there were some threats coming through, and Stanley didn't take it seriously. Because nobody cannot just go this far out of the blue without giving some pre information about what they may do in the future.
Yeah, the heads up that we saw from the woman's cryptic post from 9 weeks ago. 9 weeks ago.
Yeah, not only that, because I want to believe that there may be some fighting, some verbal threats, some verbal threats, all the quarreling and all those things. And I believe that even this lady, the deceased lady must have threatened Junior verbally, eyeball to eyeball. And Stanley, eyeball to eyeball. You understand? But Stanley did not take it seriously. And Stanley did not take it seriously because why? She's a mere woman. She cannot do anything. She's a woman. You understand? Without knowing that women also can be this violent.
Possibly.
Yeah. So that's my little contribution.
But you know, addressing what you just said, you know what the Bible says about a furious woman, right?
Yeah.
When they decide to deal with you, even the devil takes notes. So quite unfortunate.
Yeah. So I believe Stanley ignored a lot of red flags. He ignored a lot of red flags. Yeah.
But I'm also proud of him, but the fact that he stepped away.
Yeah.
And we're just hypothetically alleging about the red flags, right? How far will you go to protect yourself? You have children.
Do we have the? I don't mean to take it to a racial level, but do we have the ratio of the new? When he left the lady that just did what he did, the new lady is dating right now. Is she black or is she white? Did he remain with the white?
Didn't provide any details on
I think that might also be part of it too. I'm looking at a racial component. Maybe
they didn't. No news outlet has reported her race or anything else.
Are you guys talking about the current girlfriend, the one that survived?
Yeah.
No, this is a Niger babe. No, this is a Niger babe.
Nobody, it's not confirmed.
From the news,
regardless, okay, it was mere speculation. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's not confirmed.
Because in the all the Australian articles or whatever, because we read
a lot, even up to this one. This one that we said read
Facebook
out
pages and
came out
like
I think like 4 minutes or something into the time.
We didn't see anything about the race. We only know that she's a 31-year-old female. We don't know what her race or what her name is.
They've not
because the gossip, unconfirmed gossip with that Stanley dumped this lady for a Niger. It's still gossip, so it's not confirmed.
No, I don't
the police has not addressed that. Okay, Adewale, you are here when you give your opinion, then Amaka gives her opinion, and then
hello, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, so when I heard about that story, I actually went online to read articles about it, and it was a very, very sad story. But it's not a new one. They've been a lot of cases like this. Actually, there've also been a lot of like Hollywood movies that kind of describe this kind of relationships. And I think the relationship Stanley had with this lady was an obsessive one, because there are a lot of people walking in the street that can't really distinguish between love and obsession. So for them, if I can't have you, no one can, and they will do whatever it takes to do that, even if it means deleting themselves, you and even the children you have together. They will do it because they believe that they're made like you're not supposed to be with anyone. And so unfortunately that's the kind of like he met like that kind of person. Stanley met that kind of person and he didn't survive. There's some people who survive, and there's a lot of people also who don't survive this kind of relationships. So the relationships where the man is the obsessive one or where the woman is the obsessive one. And in Stanley's case, was the woman. And I suspect there were probably like red flags or like certain situations. This like the whole like arson that happened is probably not the first. Maybe it's the worst of the issues they've had, but I don't think it's the first one that has been reported to the police. And I actually also think he didn't take it seriously, or maybe he doesn't really know how to deal with an obsessive partner, because for obsessive partners, the best thing you can actually do is disappear, run for your life, because you can't. Obsessive partners are really they don't know how to control themselves. Like their emotions are like taking over their like logical faculty, so they can do anything and everything. You can't underestimate them, and a lot of people actually underestimate them, and then they do the worst thing. So I'm very sure he didn't know how to deal with that partner. Maybe he didn't even know that she's obsessive. Probably he did, but he just didn't know how to deal with it because
he didn't take seriously. And Adewale, you're right. We read some articles too where it said that the police had known them from their previous area. They had also
Exactly.
massive violence claims against each other, but I don't know why the
And
Australian. I don't
yeah.
know why it's taking
The
so
Australian
much
is
time.
very slow.
You know, this thing's like 48 hours already.
Very slow. Very slow.
You know, and then Rocky is saying that they used to work for a domestic violence charity, and they've seen so many things. Yeah, in your experience, do you see some men coming into those charity places?
Rocky, you should probably call into the
is
show.
Is it mostly women that are calling?
Okay. Adewale, are you done with your part for now? So that
Yeah. So I think I kind of also blame the Australian police and police force. Yes, they should have actually like intervened a long time ago, even before now. Because like these cases are very common. It's not like it's not new. They're very, very common. They're very common. So it's like it's just like, I don't know if you guys watch this show on Netflix. You.
No.
Do you guys know that show Netflix? It's like a series on Netflix. Is You, like YOU, and the guy is like, he's also one obsessive guy, and the things he did even worse than this, the one that this woman is currently doing. So there are a lot of movies about it because it's a well-known case.
Yeah.
It's well known all over the world. So it's quite sad. Actually, just sad.
Yeah.
Okay, Amaka, are you there?
Oh yeah, I'm here. How let me go in because I know if I start talking now, my kids will run in here. Yeah, I mean, I think I've been listening in, and when we started the whole story about the man abuse, I also wanted to say, okay, well, I don't know, I don't think if I have any much contribution, but just hearing everybody else speak, I'm like, okay, I think I can just say one or two things. One thing I do disagree on was when Junior said there's no good way to end a relationship, and no, I 100% disagree on that, in the sense that I feel like if you're in a relationship with someone that you don't think that there's a way you guys can come together and have a mutual agreement and say, okay, I think this is not working out, then please. And if you're in that headspace where you know for sure, you know, like a relationship is always relationships are always give and take, in the sense that it could work out or it couldn't, and the person is not. I feel like the other person should go ahead and end it at that time before it gets crazy. One thing about guys I would say is, like, I've seen a lot of guys that they would have friends like, this is my friends for life, this is my friends forever, and the relationship just stays on the same level, in the sense that it's like it has no depth. We women, we bond a lot. You already know who's your bestie, or who's your next bestie, or who you can tell anything. I mean, now sometimes you can just say, you might not have time, but you get on the phone, you stay on the phone for hours, you're spilling all kinds of secrets and saying all kinds of things, and then with that time, you know what's going on in your friend's life, what's actually going on in your friend's life. But men can be, you guys can talk for hours, nothing. Like, if it doesn't pass that ball was nah, man, Manchester, I see how they had it, or whatever they call. I'm not into sports or whatever, man, that guy play well or whatever, once it doesn't cross that. So I feel like that's number one. That's a bigger issue. That's a problem, in the sense that for someone that has brothers, they might be going through stuff, and you as a sister might not know, and it gets to that level where before you find out that things are really good, this has gone bad, it might be like, okay, this will file for divorce, like as it is, or maybe the girl goes crazy, and that's one that happened recently in my personal life, goes crazy and start texting everybody and start dishing all kinds of abuse on the guy, and you're like, whoa, I didn't realize you guys are having this issue. You know what I'm saying? Because the man in question was my husband's very good friend, So I feel, okay, my biggest thing was, like, I guess maybe my solution, or a little bit of input, will be, I feel like just having that that talk, even if you don't know what's going on, if you sense anything, just have that talk with whoever guy you have in your personal life. That's one. Number two, as a boy's mom, I've already started now talking to them. I don't care how young they are, because either way, they're going to be in a relationship one way or the other. And one thing I know I have said to my kids is, I don't care how much you love somebody, if the person ever raises their hands or shows any kind of aggression, even drops a bottle somewhere out of anger, you need to drop that person like it's hot right there. You see what I'm saying? And also, you yourself should not be the person taking anger to the next level where you can control yourself and trying to hurt people in that means. And I also have said, never ever feel like you can. In any way there's somebody that you cannot live with. Just gradual, because we talk about, because we're getting to that point where I'm trying not to let the society be the one teaching my kids. Because before I'm like, okay, don't say anything to kids, don't do this one, no. Now I'm to the point where I am just putting in those words, because it's not just I believe that, me personally, I believe some guys do get abused. My personal belief is like, keep your hands to yourself. I'll keep my hands to myself. Keep your hands to yourself. Just so almost like the same way I say, if a girl gets abused and I ask who hit each other first, and they say the girl who raised their hands, I lose interest in that conversation. If you don't want to be beaten up, please do not put your hands on anybody. You see what I'm saying? That is my personal. And some people are like, oh no, that's too harsh. I'm like, I'm sorry, that's my personal belief system. So I feel like maybe just talking, and also just making sure that we are checking in on some of our men in our lives too. Especially if you have those good quiet ones. And it always seems like the extremely nice quiet ones always want to go for the crazies, out there. I don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? So, just every now and then, hey, dig deep, ask questions, drill, because nothing's gonna come out of that. I think it's just a general man's thing, do not complain, do not bitch about anything, that is my input.
Thank you so much,
Amaka. Sorry, I have a question for Amaka.
Sure.
So very quick, how do you dissolve a relationship with someone that is obsessed?
Yeah, because that's what
I don't say do not let it get to that far. Like once, you have. We all have.
Amaka, they had 3 children. So I'm just coming from the angle.
But that one is far. They've gone far now. At that point, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, you don't even before you get to that point. People always show you who they are. How people have like those 3 months rule where nothing gets deep, nothing gets, just within that 3 months, let's just get to know each other. Before that time, a lot of the girls that I know that have followed that rule always find out one thing or the other. People, we try to hide who we are, but somehow something gets slipped in the crack. I think
you and Junior are actually saying the same thing, but just communicating it different. Because Junior is saying that it's not, you cannot end a violent relationship well. Like you can't end
Yeah, that was what I was saying.
Violence. Okay, sorry, I missed the violence. I thought you said you cannot end any relationship. I'm like, what are you talking about?
No,
I didn't say that. End a violent relationship well. So you are saying that if the person is getting violent, like you're saying, you have advised your son or whatever that they should leave. It's the same thing Junior is saying, that there is no way to handle, say you're living peacefully. You have to say
yes. Okay. Now I get it. I thought you said any relationship, not just okay. Now it's violence. Okay, sorry. Yeah, because some people end a relationship and stay friends.
Yeah, so I think that I need Rocky to speak. Thank you so much, Amaka. So
I'm gonna drop out and go back to watching from the background. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
And thank you for that wisdom.
Yeah, and thank you for raising your son's rights to making them know that they have the right to feel and to be felt as well. And I think your husband,
Attorney John, your husband is saying he cannot live without.
I beg. But I just try. Thanks. That you guys are doing a great job. Thank you.
You're welcome, Amaka. Okay.
Actually, I have an answer to someone's question. Someone asked the question previously. I think I have a suggestion. Might not be like a right answer, but I think once the relationship gets violent, you need to get the professionals involved, the police, the psychologist, and everything. But some people really don't know about it. So I think that's also like Stanley's case as well. He just ignored the whole thing. And he didn't. I don't think he actually even had time to really know who the lady was before they started having kids. So once the kids came, it was actually kind of, because once you have kids, you're with that person for life. It becomes very hard to detach from that.
So thank you so much, Adewale. I need
answering that question.
Yeah. Rocky, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready, guys. I'm ready. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Can every other person please just hold on a little bit so that
Rocky
can
will
talk?
speak. I think Rocky is the one who said that.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, so that Rocky can speak. When Rocky finishes speaking, I think Yachman had something to say, then we can all get
interacting.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Okay, Rocky, are you ready?
I'm ready when you guys are. So firstly, good evening, greetings, everyone. I wasn't. I'm good, thank you very much. Common Sense Sisters, good to be back on your profile. So
where are you watching us from?
The UK, London specifically.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So I used to work for the National Domestic Violence Helpline Refuge, and I didn't hear the beginning of this conversation because I just literally caught the discussion. But from what Amaka and Adewale and a few others have said, I can kind of get the gist. Now, Adewale made a good point about getting professionals involved. I don't know where this specific story took place, if it was in Canada.
Australia.
It was Australia, right?
Yes. So the man had been in a long-term relationship. Since we didn't get the story from the beginning, let me just quickly say it.
Summarize.
So the man had been in a long-term relationship with a lady called Sarah, and the relationship bore forth 3 children, 5, 3, and ages 2, right? And they had in the past, according to police, taken out domestic violence order against each other in the past. Now the relationship had already hit rock bottom, and then they were in court for custody battle for the children. Prior to that, Sarah had been homeschooling the kids, right? But then I think it was on Thursday or Wednesday, Stanley
awarded Stanley full custody of all the kids.
And Stanley will be 2 kids and then guardianship of the last kid, of the last child, right? Stanley Obi is already currently in a new relationship with another woman, and they moved into the house that he had built. This is 6 months ago. They started living in that house. Now Sarah goes in there after this court order case, so which means that it's the night that the thing happened at 3 a.m. Takes petrol, makes her way forcefully into the house sneakingly, and then drowses this petrol on this man's body. Went to the room where the man is staying. A strange partner is living. The
children was also at home,
living with
children were there as well.
The children were in another room. Now she was drowsing this petrol on this man, and then obviously he would have woken up, and he decided to shield his girlfriend, right?
The girlfriend and the kids were able to escape.
So she lit the fire. She died in the process, but the girlfriend and the kids were able to escape with the help of they also had a neighbor that also tried to help pull them out. So because of the way Stanley shielded him, they were able to. The girlfriend was able to escape with the 3 kids.
But Stanley was
90% degree burnt. He did not make it. By the time the ambulance came, it was 35 minutes late, and they took him to the hospital. And this man suffered for 17 hours
before
and
he
then
died.
he died.
He suffocated.
And then he died. So that's
God rest his soul, man. God rest his soul. God rest his soul. And also, prayers out to the children who, God, imagine the trauma of knowing that that's how your father's passed away. That's going to take years of therapy for them to recover from that. But anyway, I mean, in that situation, there's many red flags. For example, the custody situation. Where was social services? Because there would have been a reason why the judge awarded Stanley custody and guardianship over the children, because there must have been some sort of safeguarding alerts that were flagged in terms of the woman's behavior, her ability to parent, neglect, or whatever it is that, people don't just get full custody without due diligence, without evidence, without psychologists speaking to the children to discuss who they prefer to stay with, what they do, the interaction, so that's the first thing. The second thing is, in my experience, when I used to work for a domestic violence charity, the focus would always be on the woman being the victim, because historically, that statistics have shown that women historically have, and still today, are normally the victims and the men are the perpetrators. But we're seeing an increasing amount of female perpetrators and male victims. And the only problem with that is that there isn't the resources and the provisions to provide it, and also the stigma still exists. So someone else said earlier, if it's a woman, what can she do? And obviously, that's true to some extent, but in Australia and in the Western Hemisphere, there are rights against women. There are, rights against coercion, abuse, what have you. So a woman hits a man's going to think twice before he hits that woman back, because the ramifications on him against her is different to the ramifications that would come about for the woman if she's perpetrating the domestic violence. So you've got that to think about. Then you've also got the fact that the children, it's a hot mess. But one thing what I want to say though is, like what Amaka said, there are always signs at the beginning of a relationship. So one of the things that I learned as well through the training is there's this thing, and you can Google it, and it's called the cycle of abuse. And I think for your audience, it's important for people I'm just talking specifically to the Black community, the African, West African, Caribbean community. It's important that we familiarize ourselves with these things called the cycle of abuse, because it's those first instances. There's a film actually by the BBC called Murdered by My Boyfriend, and you see the beginning of the relationship where the person will say, oh, pull up your sleeve. Oh, that's a bit of a low there's little indicators, and then it goes from that to shouting, gaslighting, throwing things, and then eventually the hitting, and then it's just a matter of time before that becomes a fatal injury. So with men, I know a situation where someone came to me and said, look, I've got a friend, he's in a relationship, he's got kids, and he wants to move out the house because the woman's beating him up, and he didn't want to speak about it because he's embarrassed, he's ashamed, but he's trapped, he doesn't know what to do. And I said he needs to let someone know. He needs to let someone know ASAP, and put his shame aside and put all of that demasculation feeling to one side, because what he's doing is he's sending a signal out to his children that is a normal functioning relationship, which it isn't. And then also the children of the victims, they always suffer because they're learning dysfunctional relationship habits, and all these weird kind of ingrained behaviors that are then passed down to the children, and then you get another cycle of abuse in the next generation. So there's a plethora of different points that we can make about this. Someone also said, was the man Black or was he white? Irrespective of his race or ethnic origin, domestic violence happens across the board, guys. This is not specific to a race. The idea that it happens in some cultures more than others is a lie. It's a myth. There are some serious, you'd think they're alpha looking men, they're built well, they look like they go to the gym, pump weights, and they're taking licks from their woman, and these are Black men, and white men and Asian. There's all sorts. Obviously, we know, generally speaking, in certain cultures where there's how can I say, certain ideas around women's place and what a woman is meant to do. Certain cultures, South Asian communities and what have you, and even that's changing. We're seeing more being done in India about the rights of women, but I would like to see more emphasis on the rights of men, because men are suffering in silence. Someone said, I think it was Amaka who said, the men aren't speaking up. They'll be going through things and they'll just talk about sports and have a very surface level conversation, not to generalize, because I feel like there's also a wave of men, who are becoming
relationships out there.
Say that again. Sorry.
Creating healthy relationships amongst themselves. That's
right.
Just superficial things. And sorry to cut you in before you even go on. I think Graciousness made two great points where they are saying it also seemed to me that some women have a lengthy list of standards when it comes to choosing what men is suitable for them. However, some men have no standards or a very standard. Therefore, those men would just be happy to settle with a woman, any woman, without analyzing or probably identifying the red flags which are in terms of characteristics that a woman exhibits. So that's another thing. If you are in a relationship with a woman and she's telling you of the things that she put her ex through, that can be a red flag too as well. So people I agree with Gracious in the sense that there is this thing about, I don't know how true it is, that men just be with any woman they want to be with. For some men, not all will just be, but there is no, like, if you see the negative trait in this woman, you think, oh, she's a woman, she cannot do that much. After all, she's just a woman. But you have to take these signs seriously. You cannot have a woman that is obsessed with you, because that obsession can lead to the violence, which is what we are seeing today.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's so true. Can I just say something just to add to what you said as well? Like when you said about some men not being discerning, I think the looks and some men, they're captivated by the diamond in between the woman's thighs, and they're not really looking at what's between her eyes. And these are the things that can trap people. What's going on? What's her characteristic? Is she caring? Is she nurturing? Does she ask you how your day has been? Has she asked, simple things in a relationship? Or is it just what
she's passively aggressive, or quick temper, like loose tongue, just
right
like that.
So it's a plethora of things, guys, but thank you very much for raising this topic and planting some seeds in the minds of people. Look, it's the time for us to love ourselves. If we can't love ourselves, then we'll attract these toxic relationships. But, we have to have our standards, and we have to remember that, God doesn't want us to suffer in relationships. We talk about, in the church, they have all this emphasis on relationships and single seminars, but where is the awareness of these types of issues in terms of seeing the red flags in potentially toxic relationships? Anyway, let me stop. Thank you, guys. God bless. Bless up.
Thank you so much, Rocky. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you calling in. You see, when you call in and you talk, people can connect more than just the typing, and you had a lot of more wisdom and common sense to share. And so we appreciate that. I think Yachman can't wait. Yachman, what's on your mind?
No, I was just going to piggyback on what Rocky said last in regards to watching for the signs. But you also have to in all fairness, to people that have never experienced love before, when they get love bombed for the first time, even though it's toxic, to them it's amazing. They've never felt that before. So even though they know this is not good, but the initial rush to them is just, it's mind-blowing. And secondly, to address that of the kids, one thing I would like to know, maybe later down the road, if the news comes out, will be what was the nature of the custody battle? Because it's very hard to have I have never seen, maybe just me, a very peaceful custody battle. It's always very messy in most cases. It's always very messy. So the nature of the custody battle. So it kind of piggybacks to your initial topic about walking away, when people were saying that. It's not as easy to walk away when kids are involved, because there has to be child visitation, and you have to share bills and share school information. So it gets complicated from there. And we also talked about men being man enough and not dealing with issues. And that compounds the issue overall. But it's a very sad one. And to address Rocky, I was one that brought up the racial component of it, but I was not referring to it as an overall component. I was just referring to as trying to figure out what might have been the reason why, not necessarily that it does not occur across the board. So I was just trying to figure out what might have been the reason why that. But this was a good one. And it takes time to know someone. It takes time.
Exactly.
Like you said, you can say, "Oh, the person." People hide though. People hide. I'm telling you, I'm just engaged now. But I dated someone that was like, born again, virgin, educated. That one. But when that person showed me their attitude, I'm like, this is not going to end that well. So it takes time to know people. And people do change too. So that's why you need God sometimes to lead you. Because they might check all the boxes that you have, but they have to check God's boxes for your life too. So the same way you have a box to check for your life, God has a box that check for you too. So you need God to help you picking up the right person, so you don't end up in this kind of unfortunate situation. But thanks for having me on the show. Yeah.
Can I just respond to what you just said? about the racial bit. Sorry, can I just say something?
When Rocky speaking, then Egosa will speak, and then if Adewale or Junior have something to add, and then we'll have you. So Rocky, please carry on.
Man, you made a good point there. Thank you for just shedding light on what you meant about the racial aspect, because you're right. There are some cultures where divorce is heavily frowned upon, and that is one of the reasons why some people feel like they can't escape domestic violence. I saw that when I was working in the women's refuge, women of certain backgrounds, South Asian and West African backgrounds, they were more reluctant to leave the man because they didn't want to bring shame on the family. They didn't want to, and so that's why they stayed, because it's like, I've got children, I can't go to my family and tell them that this is the result of all, the dowry money's already been paid.
Exactly.
Those kind of things.
But Rocky, that's like almost like some kind of the marriage is arranged in most cases. So it's like a family coming together.
Even if it wasn't
arranged.
I think we're talking about two different things. I think Rocky's talking about the cultural aspect and why some people choose not to go away. So
yeah,
the black person or whatever, some people have that cultural
aspect, very strong cultural thing on them.
Impact.
Even church, all those
obligations,
across every aspect in society.
Yeah, so that's why they suffer. That's why they suffer, because they're like, I can't leave, because if I leave, what will my community say? What will my church fellows say? And that's why you see the cycle of it. But we're in 2022, guys, and like, at the end of the day, right, we can't say that, especially like, come on, like, it's either live in fear of what other people think of you,
or you die.
Exactly, or die. So, I don't know. It's easy for me to say, but I just think we really need to start doing more about teaching about self-love, self-esteem, because again, back to what Yachtman was saying, he was saying some people don't know what true love is. So they get a bit of attention, they get a bit of intimacy, especially coming out of this lockdown. Some people have been starved of intimacy and affection. So this person is charming them, they're flicking the eyelashes, they're buying them gifts, they're seeing the red flags, but they're ignoring it because it's like, oh, but still they make me feel good, and I've never felt like this before, and they do this to my body, and whatever it is, right? But it's not enough, because in the end, you have your children who are looking up to you, and even without the children, before that, you've got to look yourself in the mirror and know that you're okay with the decisions you're making. And unfortunately, it's a tricky one, man. It's a really tricky one, because there's so many elements, but we've got to love ourselves. That's what it comes down to, self-love,
That's true.
No worries. Thank you so much, Rocky. Egosa and every other person. Egosa.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I'll try to be very brief. There are a lot of people want to say something. There's something Adewale said that I really want to address: the issue of the police. He expressed his displeasure. He said the police disappointed Stanley. I don't know. I don't want to use the word that I don't want to say that I disagree, because because obviously the police can disappoint, right? But at the end of the day, the police will work only with the information they've got at hand. Yes, the police will work only with the information they've got at hand. So they will protect Stanley only with the information Stanley gave the police. So they will assess his risk. Then they will know the kind of protection they'll offer to him. So at the moment, we do not know. And yes, from the story I read, even you sisters, you've mentioned it, both of them are reported.
Yeah.
You understand? But for Stanley, but for Stanley, we do not know the nature of what he reported. We don't know what he reported about. Did he report physical threat? Did he report physical abuse? Maybe that happened in the past. We do not know the weight of what he reported, because the police will protect him only from the information that he gave. You see, so I don't think we can blame the police that much at this level, because the show today is about men, why men do not report. Part of it is why men do not report. So maybe Stanley did not report any physical abuse, that may have happened before. Who knows? You see. Okay, then secondly and or lastly for now is men. We have very weak support system, like among friends. Unlike women cry. Women talk with each other. Women cry. They talk about their issues. Then men do not. And men, yes, for men, we have long friendships. We have friendships that may last 15 years, 20 years. But what do we discuss? Because for men, we may have long friendship, but these friendships are very shallow. We have long but shallow friendship. We end by, drink, we watch soccer, we take a walk here and there. But what do we talk about? At the end of the day, most friendship among men, it's very shallow. So I cannot call Junior. If Junior is my friend, I cannot call Junior and complain about my domestic affairs issue. It's rare. It happens, but it's very, very rare. So we have very weak support system as friends where it's very shallow. Forget about what you see. Oh, this person is my friend. But what do you talk about? We have shallow friendship, unlike women. Yeah,
Okay.
That's it.
So, can I go ahead?
Yes.
Yeah. So I just want to say that for anyone that should serve as a lesson to anyone that is in a toxic relationship or going through a divorce. Listen, if you don't have a fear of God, you are going to do the undoable. Because I've listened to this, I've not read the entire article, but so far, this Sarah of a girl, for example, right now, not only the fact that she's obsessed in the relationship with Stanley Obi, she felt like she felt hopeless and she felt like she has lost everything.
Mm-hmm.
She has lost the kids. She has lost Stanley Obi. So obviously there is a lot of, negative thoughts that plays a role to her to the fact for her to go as far as doing what she did. So for anybody that is going through toxic relationship out there, when it ends, whether it's through okay, you go your own way, I go my own way, or whether it's through legal process, I just want them to have it at the back of their mind that I hope when you're listening to all this social media, listening to what is going on in the news, don't think that it is over. You don't know what the other person is planning. So be very alert when you're sleeping, when you're awake, you cannot protect yourself 100%. I know God is our ultimate protector, but this should serve, like, just let us do everything humanly possible to know that, okay, I have tried my best. So because at the end of the day, I'm telling you, you don't know what the other person is planning.
Mm-hmm.
You really do not know what the other person is planning, and they can look at what Sarah did. If you tell Stanley Obi that Sarah was going to do this is a woman that you had 3 kids with. This is a woman that at some point it was juicy and
yeah, she was communicating with
Junior,
family
I say we
members
were
on
looking
Facebook.
to 20 dated back to 2019.
Exactly.
Comments between her and his family
members, they can't wait to see each other.
It was crazy.
Yeah. So exactly. So I just hope that it's going to be a very good lesson to anybody that is going through divorce and all that. But sometimes you think it's over, but it's just the beginning of what to come.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the beginning of what to come. And just the last point is just what Adewale mentioned about the police. I think I agree with Igosa about the police. I don't think that the police failed him. He obviously here that we in Canada here, so you guys know that police will not just patrol your house all the time. They will show up at your residence when you call them.
Mm-hmm.
So again, the only thing that I would blame, I don't know what Australian system is in terms of 911 and what is it called, the ambulance. I think from what you guys read, they showed up late.
Yeah,
35 minutes.
35 minutes for someone that has 90%, 90-degree burn.
Exactly.
90% classes now, that hard.
I remember when you had that fire alarm incident and you had to rush down.
Yes, within minutes they were here.
Exactly. So we paid for these services. That's part of the taxes. We paid for this, so they need to be there. The response team, they need to be there. So unfortunately, what has happened. But moving on is just going to be the lesson that we that our life has to learn. Those that are in relationship has to learn, because the world that we are living in right now, people are crazy. People are extremely crazy. So, yeah.
Very, very crazy. I think
so.
Go on, my dear.
Oh, you want? I have a question. How I know everybody has talked about this whole thing about men not having, some of them not having in-depth relationship with their fellow men and all that. I move with the understanding of practicing OQP in my relationships, whether it's platonic or romantic.
What does OQP mean? Because
only quality people.
Mm-hmm.
Only quality people, and the individual has to define what quality means to them, himself or herself. My question is, how can men, since we have mostly men here talking now, and then we have Rocky, the lady, how can men start creating safe space for their fellow men?
Mm-hmm.
Any ideas from you men? How can you start creating safe spaces for yourselves?
Sorry, before to go, Amakaya, you're right. It looked like a new area from what the
it
videos
is
we
a
were
new
seeing,
area,
like, but still no excuse,
to
be 35 minutes late. If you can't get there, the place should not have been approved for building anyway. But yeah, sorry, you please.
Yeah, so how can men start creating safe spaces for themselves?
Watching healthy shows like this life,
you know, because there's so much that another person can do. But for men, I think that they have an understanding of themselves. So how can you start creating safe spaces for yourselves? That's the question I have to ask, because we have to be looking for solutions and lesson learned from this situation, right? How can you start creating safe spaces for yourselves? You know, so anyone can, if you have any idea.
That's why I brought up the.
Anyone can, if you have any idea.
That's why I brought up the.
Who is echoing?
I think Yachman, you have to mute your own YouTube and then allow only the StreamYard to talk.
If not, it will be echoing and we'll be hearing ourselves. Unmute him. Let's see.
Better.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, okay. So
that was why I brought up the therapy earlier. Because I have a friend that he also has a huge following online. He's a PhD in psych medicine, and he had a live stream, and he had professional health providers up, and one of the issues he brought up was healthcare within the African community, and the issue was, even drag African men to the hospital. You see why? You African women know what I'm talking about. Your husband, for them to even go to see the doctor in the first place is a headache. It's hard. So is to figure out a way. So what we came up on our ON is to provide what you just said, those safe spaces where African men can come in without feeling ridiculed, where they can freely express themselves, not initially to other people because of trust issues, but to professionals that are also Africans. Very important. That are also Africans, because sometimes it's better to talk to people that say the same culture as you. They can relate to you, even though they are professional. But if they're also culturally inclined with you, it makes it easier to open up. Yes. So what we are doing right now in Baltimore actually is to figure out a way where we have this online telehealth where men, because sometimes even coming in is a problem, where you can safely see a professional African men that share the same cultural values and has the professional credentials to address issues that you're going to. So that's on my part. That's what we figure out. That way, when you're comfortable within that space, then you can go to friends and stuff like that, because you're more comfortable in your own skin now at that point. So that would be the more, the better, safe approach. Just to break the ice, if you know what I mean. Just to break that ice initially, then go from there.
That's amazing.
100%.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Yachman, for sharing. Because what I'm understanding from him is that they have to starting from the professional side of things, because from the professional side of things, you get to identify yourself and who you are. Then you get to decide the kind of people you want to expose yourself to in terms of the friendship circle,
and then you can also influence your friendships as well.
So you have to heal first before you go. Wow. That's
so what we are seeing now is that from the initial startup is the people that we've tried it on, they're now bringing their friends in. They're more comfortable bringing others in to create that. So we now have that safe space for men to have real conversation beyond sports and drinking and shagging women, to have actual conversation about family. So that's what we tried.
That's amazing.
Oh my goodness.
You're doing a
Oh my
well.
God.
I think we are so glad. I think everybody on the platform, we agreed that we're so glad that you called in today and Rocky to being first time callers. And the amount of wisdom I think you both have shared light. Now Rocky is in the UK, you are in America, but both of you are doing great works in our community. Very African, Afro, black race, and shining light on these actual issues, because when these things happen to the men, there's no way women will not be impacted. There's no way children will not be impacted. There's no way the whole race, the whole culture, and the whole community will not be impacted as well. And to hear that there are people on here that are doing a quote unquote the Lord's work of making sure that they are not only doing the talk, but they are walking the walk and actively trying to promote positive change within their community is very, very, very much appreciated, at least from me. Because we will ask ourselves, we know that women talk a lot, women go through a lot of issues and whatever, but you find that, okay, what is the root cause of some of these situations? You cannot trace the root cause of a problem without involving both genders. If one gender is more expressive than the other gender, it means as a society, we've done something wrong in telling the other gender, which is the male gender, that they are just supposed to be men and suck it up. But to see that there are safe spaces out there for men, and I know this is about therapy, that it's very, very, very hard for African men to go to therapy. And sometimes I don't even think that they know what therapy is. It's like you go and you have a conversation with somebody. The person is not trying to fix you. They are just there as a guide. Or if you're going for medical checkups, the doctors are not there to kill you or something. It's for your own good. So to see that there are people that are actually working on this and creating those safe spaces, it brings a lot of joy and it gladdens my heart.
I think we are living our purpose, Ella. I think this is part of the reason why we're on YouTube. I'm very happy. I'm very happy. I guess I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one like really saying this. I'm very, very happy. John is saying we should not forget the cultural factors at play also. Contextually, most of us are from a highly patriarchal
patriarchal society that won't change. And that's very true.
That's fine,
but
that's
why
why the solution
is coming from and saying that it's baby steps. Children don't learn how to walk in one day. They will stand, they will fall, they will crawl, they will fall. But when they get a hand of it, then they're able to walk on their own and bring along their friends. It's baby steps. But if we don't address these things that are going on in the society, we will just keep talking about it. And the people that need these types of videos are those people that are in need. And that is our responsibility to make sure that we're sharing these kinds of videos with men. Because I agree 100% that women have a lot of support out there. And this is not to minimize the work of women, because women also fought for that kind of support. Shelters didn't just spring up from nowhere. Women saw the need for the shelters, which is what Yafan is saying. They've seen, he and his friends group, they've seen a need that men have to be helped, and they created that safe space where men can just come and just spend. And I think the more importance we add to healthy relationships, things that are not just superficial, that goes beyond, like Yafan was saying, dating, or how many women you slept with, or this amount of money that you have, or how much you be able to achieve. But as a man, as a human being, how are you? How is your mind? What is going on? Is there anything going on? I noticed that, Baba, you look straight today. You're not looking good today. What's going on? Anything happen?
Talk to your brother.
Being able to talk, being able to feel, being able to express, and being able to cry. I think crying is one of the most beautiful things. And I'm sad that men, to narrow it down, African men don't have the privilege of being able to express their full emotion and embrace it. It's part of human life. So I can't imagine that somebody has been told right from childhood that you cannot cry, you cannot complain, a woman is not supposed to do this to you, you're supposed to be the man. They grow up with all this macho-ness in them, and at the point where they reach their breaking point, they see no turning back apart from violence. But to be able to address all these things, you have Amaka here, who is a mom. She's already training her sons in a healthy way. Healthy way. Those men, those boys will grow up to become formidable young men, a force to reckon with. We have great men on this platform that are not afraid to speak their mind, to share their emotions, and tell people what's going on and how they're handling situations. Maybe I'm talking too much.
No, you are speaking. You are speaking.
I will stop. I don't know if somebody.
Yes, sisters, can I come in?
I will just keep Wait,
Mhm.
please
Yeah.
carry on.
Okay. I think by now you guys will know that one of my favorite words on this platform is socialization.
Yeah.
I use that word a lot. Socialization. Okay.
Mhm.
And how are men groomed
Mhm.
from young,
Mhm.
from birth until they become men matters a lot. You understand? Because the emotion of men gets killed from when they are babies. For example, the famous word we all know, the famous sentence we all know it: men don't cry.
Yes.
You understand? Men don't cry, and that is toxic. That is toxic. If they say men don't cry, if they say men don't cry, what does it mean? It means that do not share your problems.
Mhm.
Always pretend. That is, pretend that you're strong. You understand? Do not show that you're weak. Don't shed tears, both internally or physically. Do not do that. Of which it is toxic. Down the line, it is toxic, and it forms shallow friendship, because once men are being groomed not to be emotional, they form shallow friendship. They don't share things with their friends, for example, because I'm having some kind of it's a healthy exchange with on the comment section with gracious greatness. You understand? Yeah, once you are being told that you should not express your emotions, you understand, then which means that you cannot be expressive.
You
So
can't be a
what do
full
you
human being.
yeah so what do you do with your friends? What do you do with your friends? You will not share your pain with your friends, because why? The society has taught you not to express it. So so automatically you may form shallow friendship, long friendship for 10, 20 years, but it's been shallow because you don't share problems. You only share enjoyment, drink, watching soccer, talk about women and all those things. But you don't share your issues. So for me, it is that kind of friendship is shallow. But women will call, hey, Ella, where you dey? Please, I want to talk to you. And they cry, you'll be crying. Yo will be crying. Oh, Ella will be like, oh, calm down. Where you dey? Okay, they come. Ella will even sleep over, comfort you.
Yes, we'll go and get our nails done. Talk about
Exactly. How many men do that? How many men do that? Close to zero. There are some, and gracious greatness, some men do that, but most men are not connecting on that same level with their fellow men. You see, but women connect so they easily. So women sometimes, even no matter what they are going through, they don't break down. That they don't fall.
You don't reach
That
their breaking point.
emotionally than men. That is why some men bottle it up so much, and at the end of the day, they explode because their emotions are not being expressed. You
I have
see,
something.
so at graciousness, I think you're listening. Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to say. I'm sorry that I generalize, but most men have shallow
Yeah.
friendships.
You understand where you're coming from, Egusa?
Okay, so before you talk about Bimpe's question,
Okay.
I have a statement to make to men. Just a statement. I won't call it advice or suggestion. Why would you want to be with a woman that you cannot be vulnerable with, or the woman does not respect or is not open to your vulnerability?
Yeah. As a woman, I would have a problem if my man cannot be bare to me. Like,
yeah.
I
just
want to
wanted
be bare
to
with
open
you.
that statement there. That's all I wanted to open the statement. So some men, that's what graciousness. When graciousness, I didn't even see this before. Graciousness is some women lose respect for a man if he cries or shows some sort of emotion. I've heard a number of women say that.
Yeah, that's true.
Why would you want to be around such kind of women? Whether it's a platonic friendship or a romantic friendship or agape friendship or even blood. I don't want to be around I don't want to be around that kind of person. Not to talk of considering that person to be somebody I will live with for the rest part of my life. Then why are we together? Why are we together? That's just something I wanted to put out there. You deserve somebody who you can be vulnerable with, who would respect your vulnerability.
Who wouldn't judge you?
And who wouldn't
based
judge
on
you.
your gender? Because what is this gender we're talking about?
Yeah.
It's just two different genitals.
That's it.
So yeah. And to see what Bimpe will see you. Thank you for watching in the background. Bimpe is saying, sorry, I've been busy going in and out of the house. I can't call him. Will it be possible to get the information about his friend and the platform that supports men? So that's up to Yachman. Yachman wants to share that information on here.
Yeah, that's up to Yachman.
That's up to Yachman. To Yachman to divulge.
Yeah. So we're Yachman, you there? Yachman. Okay, so let's be rounding up. rounding up.
the
So
last
whoever
thing.
wants to go first with their words of final encouragement or advice, so that we can round up the show for today. Anyone can go first.
Well,
sorry.
actually,
Sorry. Let me put an email down here. I was trying to. So if anybody wants to meet anybody to talk to, or they need help, they can email me and I forward it to them.
Yeah, okay. So if you put an email in the comment section, we'll pin it to the screen.
Yeah. So put it in the comment section or in the chat box in the back. And
for people who are,
put in the comment section. If you can't put it in the comment section, you can put it in the back here. I'll copy it and we'll put it on the screen.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they might not be able to see.
That's true.
So and for people who are on the screen right now, for the people who called in, if you're trying to comment and you're seeing the private chat is only for people who are on live on the platform here. So if you're commenting in there, people who are commenting from outside won't be able to see it. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah.
So Yachma, you can put it in the private chat and we'll copy it and paste it there. Okay, Adewale, you wanted to go ahead and go first.
Yeah. Actually, I wanted to answer the previous question you guys asked, but like you guys, So, based on the friendships I've had in the past, think I always do this. I'm always among a group of friends, but there's always this one guy that I'm closer to than everyone else. So it's that guy I tell my personal problems and things I'm struggling with. But the others, like, because us guys, whenever we meet, it's usually to like have fun, we play football, or we talk about like Premier League, which I never really understood because I don't have the time to watch football all the time. Or sometimes sometimes people talk about like girls, like that's another thing to talk about, and we never really get past that level. I don't know why that is, but I guess I don't know why that is, but it's just something I noticed. We never really get past that level. So sometimes I tend to be quiet at the end of the day because I really don't have much to say because it's just surface stuff. But I always have this one person I talk to, like just talk about my problems and we talk about deep stuff. So I think that can actually be a very good thing for us guys to do. Could be among a group of, like, you could have a group of friends, but you could also have this one person who you know that is ready to listen to you, listen to your problems, and the person can offer like good advice or make good recommendations. That actually helped me. So that could be a good suggestion. And I think another reason why like guys never really have like deep relationships is because most of us don't actually have good relationships with our fathers. Because yes, we don't like like, for example, for me growing up, my dad only just cared about education. He never really, like, there's so many questions I wanted to ask him, like as a young boy growing up, but I couldn't because he just never listens, like, because if it had nothing to do with education, he just never cared. So there's certain time, like, growing up as a young boy, there's certain experiences you're going to have, and your mom not necessarily understand it because she's a woman, or your sister would understand it because she's a girl. So you want to like talk to your father, and like it's that communication is not there. And it wasn't just me. Like, I even asked my like guy friends around. It's also the same situation with them. Like, their fathers are kind of, I don't know if it's an African father thing or maybe it's just my own father.
I think
what I noticed, like, they tend to be standoffish.
Standoffish. Yeah,
exactly. Yes,
I think it's a majority of many African fathers do that.
Yeah, so this, I don't know, because African fathers just think once they provide for you, they pay your tuition fees, they provide food for you and shelter. That's it. There's a lot more to being a father than just provision. There's a lot more things, and
I think we did a video. We did a live show. I think it was last year.
Intentional
parenting, where fathers came to talk. So maybe in the future we would do something following up on this,
about fatherhood and something, and hopefully like some fathers or sons will come in
and talk, right? Because I understand exactly what Adewale is saying, and it's very common, especially among many African fathers.
Yes.
So I think we will put it on our to-do list, maybe to do a separate video dedicated to just live show on the whole, focusing on the fatherhood parenting in terms of the African context.
Yeah, because like for me, I just think like the first male friend a young boy has is his father. And once that's not there, they can't really make like
healthy decisions.
Healthy decisions like making good friends, or like they can't really have that deep relationship with other boys their age. It's just it's just not going to be there. So I think if we can improve that in our community, then I think a lot of men would have like good relationships with other men. So that's the suggestion I have. Thank you for having me, and I really enjoyed the show today. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor. Thank you. We appreciate you.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
And for anybody who like Bimbi or anyone else, this is the email for Yatu here. So you can read in the comment section or on there. And if you have any questions, you can send him an email. And just if anyone goes, I think Gracious is saying something very funny here. And I just want to talk about it. I said, this common sense stars. I know we're common sense and I know be feminist, but I appreciate you both. I'm thankful that you're having this convo. That's good. It's okay. What's wrong being a feminist?
So, Yo-Yo.
Yes.
I just want to answer your question in regards to why can't men be vulnerable and show emotion towards their women.
No, why
right?
No, why can't? Why would a man be with? Why would a man? No, why can't? Why would a man? Because the why can't is what all of us has been answering here. Why would a man, right, want to be with a woman for the rest part of his life that he cannot be vulnerable with? He can't be his true self. And the woman cannot accept. I think this is back in Junior. The woman cannot accept for him to be vulnerable. She can't accept. She that space is not respected. Why would a man want to be with such a woman for the rest part of his life? That was the question I had. Right, Junior, are you there?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it was. So I was going to say that maybe society has a role to play on it, and there is also a say that, how do I put it? I think some people would say that when a man is vulnerable, or maybe it's okay for a man to cry or show emotion towards the woman that you're with, or your wife. Some people will say that, why is a man doing that? It shows that you cannot protect the woman, that you are not supposed to be vulnerable. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Like, a man is supposed to be there to protect the wife or to protect the girlfriend and stuff. So if you're showing that emotion, or you're showing that vulnerability, or maybe crying over something, it makes you a little bit less of a man. But I think that discussion will be best play out during maybe courtship, talking about it and saying, baby, it's okay for you to cry, it's okay for you to be vulnerable, it's okay. It doesn't make you less of a man. It doesn't mean that you cannot protect me if I'm in danger of something happens. I mean, we have to talk about it more, and also perhaps create more awareness in that regard. I think that is just a step, making it okay, just letting us know that it's okay for us to be vulnerable. It doesn't make us less of a man or diminish our masculinity in that space. So
thank you very much, Junior. Thank you.
Can I say one more thing? I have to come back in again.
Correct, carry on.
I think what we're trying to figure out is like, how do we figure out the balance between showing emotions and being strong at the same time? Of course, I know women don't like if you're crying all the time. That would be too much. But how can you be strong as a man, but yet be accessible to the woman emotionally, where you're not stoic in nature and you closed off? So but those things are better discussed in men groups. These are men topics within the men's space only. Sometimes.
Okay. All right. So who is rounding up? Who's going first with their final words? We've been here for over 2 hours because it looks like people don't just want to go.
Can I just say?
We have to go. Okay, I think Rocky was
saying
speaking.
something.
Yeah. In response to what was it, Junior or Yachtman just said about the balance between being able to feel vulnerable and yet not be demasculated for doing so. That's a very important thing, because I feel like this society already really, it's one extreme to another. It's either you're a alpha male, which whatever that means, and it's either that or you're sensitive and how can I say effeminized. And I think it's about men getting back in tune with their divine masculinity and understanding what responsibilities it takes to protect a woman, because we're not hunting, we're not in hunter-gatherer mode anymore. So it's not as hard as it used to be. You know, obviously like there's pressures in society and what have you, but with, you know, with that support in place, and as time goes on and you've got these wonderful safe spaces that are going to pop up, and they already are popping up. I've also posted some information about the domestic violence helplines and organizations that people can access, but I think it's just about self-love. It just comes back down to self-love once, and also it's about the family. It starts with the family and the individuals. Once we know how to govern our own households and teach our children healthy, functional ways of interacting with one another, loving one another, caring for one another, a lot of these issues will resolve itself within the Black community. I don't know about the wider, you know, wider society, but specifically in terms of the Black community, the more we start to adopt alternative, you know, forward-thinking ways of parenting, where, you know, we're having family meetings, the children feel comfortable to approach their parents and talk and open up about certain things. And then that has a knock-on effect, because then, you know, respect doesn't have to be about fear. It's now about, okay, you know, I can go to my parents, and then that will, you know, because there's also domestic violence amongst teenagers, you know, that's also a thing as well. So, and certain parents don't know what's going on with their children. But anyway, to round up, I would just say self-love. That's it. We deserve it now. This is our time to rise up, and it starts with the heart. We got to live in love and not in fear, and just love ourselves and love one another, you know.
Thank you so much,
Very,
Rocky.
very true.
Thank
If
you.
if you love yourself, you would not be with somebody that does not
Treat you right.
or
Yeah.
complete you.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very important.
Thank you so much, Rocky. Thank you.
I see Egosa unmuted himself, so Egosa will go next.
Yeah, thank you very much. I've spoken a lot today. This is the last one.
Almost 4 hours of more than
Yeah. Okay, my last word is that for men, it is okay to be vulnerable. It is okay to be emotional. It is okay to cry. It is okay to hug your friend. There's nothing wrong in that. So it is in our hands to unlearn what we learned while growing up, you know, and allow ourselves to be vulnerable. And it will help us a great deal. Like who said this? Margaret Mead. She said that we are not the product of our environment. We are a product of our choices. We may be making excuses of how we were socialized, but we have the choice to change that. We have the choice to change that. So for men, we have the choice. We have the choice to change all these things. You understand? And walk away, like Junior said at the beginning of the show. Walk away. If you see something wrong, walk away. If you see all the red flags, walk away. Do not give second chances. There are no second chances in domestic violence. Do not give a second chance. Walk away. As for the church people, church people, you know, they'll blackmail you by saying that a divorce is bad. One of the biggest lies being told in the churches today is that God hates divorce. That is one of the biggest lies ever told in Christianity, that God hates divorce. God is the biggest advocate for divorce. He loves divorce. That's a topic for another day. But walk away, get a divorce, and save your life. Thank you very much, sisters.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Thank you for
your mic.
For your mic.
For the echoing and running away.
Thank you. We appreciate you, and we hope that you have a wonderful evening. I guess it's probably weekend. Evening, obviously, in Sweden. Okay,
Junior. We're ending with Junior today.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to go back to what I said before. So all the relationship and divorced people out there should just pay attention to what you're doing in your life, and please, because the truth is that this story will keep happening. This is not going to be the end. I remember, I believe there was a lot of, if you follow social media, if you listen to what is happening, there was a lot of delete that was going on. Spouse killing their husbands, husband killing their wives and a lot of people were blaming it on the pandemic because of the lockdown. The truth is that I don't think it's just a pandemic. The only thing I think that is the pandemic just made it more prevalent. It has been happening. So people, and it is going to keep happening, not just only in Canada, US, London, any part of the world. Even Africans were doing it. So the problem is that, and the thing is that a lot of women seem to be so vulnerable in this relationship where they don't think these things are going to happen. Then you see the man is planning so evil. They will delete the kid. They will come to the wife's office and they will just. So you keep wondering what happened. So people need to pay attention to what is happening. Just like Egosa said, like if it's toxic, please leave. Like it's not worth it. It's not a do and die affair. Sometimes it's better to stay single than to get into marriage that is gonna claim your life. So whoever that is out there that is gonna see this video later on, or if you just the waka pass and see this video, please pay attention to this. Like it might be, you might think that you don't have much. Maybe the guy is the provider or the lady is the provider. It doesn't mean that life will not go on. Your life is more precious, and please leave, because if you die in the process of you're in a relationship, I'm telling you, you're going to be the one to lose, and life will still move on, because life will continue to be involved. It doesn't stop for anybody, so it's not worth it. The most important thing is to be happy, and if you're not happy, I don't know what you're still doing there. So I'm going to end it on that note.
Very beautiful ending. If you're not happy, I don't know. We don't know what you're doing there. We honestly don't know. Like, it's so beautiful. There are places to visit. It's like if you work so hard, you should enjoy your money. Why will you be coming back to the same environment where you're not feeling at peace at, and you're going to supposedly be with this person for the rest of your life? Live now. What do we used to say? Live now while you have your life.
Yeah, live. I used to always say, live full and die empty.
And live now while you have your life.
That's a phrase from one of my favorite speakers, Leslie Brown.
See?
Thank you very much.
But the last part is also that, please, if you're going to leave, I mean, if you're the one in the relationship and you know that is so toxic, and I think it's been advised that you don't let the abuser so just try, maybe if they are at work, or maybe you have a very good friend that you can talk to that can help you, make sure that they don't see you when you leave, and just maybe get help, because please don't tell the person that you're leaving, because that will get them angry and may even make them plot evil against you. So you can just do a self-thought within yourself, and and just say, okay, I'm going to figure out and get help and just leave. Don't vocalize it to them and say that you want to leave, because I think that is where the anger and the devilish and negative thought comes into play. But please, it's not worth it, because we can sit here and talk about this all the time, but I'm sure this is not going to be the last time we're going to hear this. But I just pray that people actually listen, because they need to listen and see that it's not healthy. But that's it. Yeah.
Very true. Thank
you so much, Junior, and I hope that you have a wonderful evening.
Thank
you. All right, take care. Bye.
Take care. Bye. Graciousness is fighting with yourself in the comment section. I'm all for true equality. I never said anything about apartment. Did you say you said anything?
Whether you say or you know so, it's your opinion.
That's
okay?
fine. That's fine.
Regardless, we appreciate diverse opinions. So nothing spoiled. Okay. So,
but it's good. You can reach out to Yachman if you want to. The email is there already.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you everyone for your time. We did not anticipate this video was going to be this long.
Yeah.
But apparently we are grateful for the fact that many people were willing to pour out their minds, were willing to share their common sense, both writing in the comment section and also went ahead to call in. We're thankful for all of you, for calling him. From Yachman to Egosa to Rocky, Adewale, Junior Amaka. Like, thank you so much. Thank you so much for spreading this awareness, for joining.
Gospel of Common Sense.
Yes, Gospel of Common Sense. And it's just the way you people also deliver the message. So passionately, eloquently, empathetically. We can feel that there's a desire, there's an innate desire to affect positive change just from the way you people speak about this. Even in your silence, we can feel it as well. And I believe that every other person
in the comment section as well,
who are commenting with themselves and people who are also trying to explain, this is not what I meant, this is what I mean.
Apologize.
We appreciate you because you people are very kind. Because when people come and watch the playback, they also look at the live comment, and your contribution would impact a life. You may not know, but it would impact a life. Okay. And for people who are out there, I always have this phrase: common sense is when you learn from other people's experience. Wisdom is when you don't repeat their mistakes. That's my mantra.
Your mantra, eh?
As I live it.
And like for we know we were talking about our African culture and the whole thing and everything. I found this quote online where this person said, "Too many people spend their lives being dutiful descendants instead of good ancestors. The responsibility of each generation is not to please their predecessors, it's to improve things for their offspring. It's more important to make your children proud than your parents proud." So if your behavior today is liking and you're blaming and saying, "This is how I was raised, this is what the culture demands," remember that human beings created this culture. What are you doing to change it? Are you like Yachman and his male friend group that are affecting positive change? Are you like Rocky, helping people who are in bad relationships and escaping those domestic violence situations? Are you like Adewale, who comes online and shares a story? Are you like Junior, who speaks on the platform? Are you a commenter? Are you like Amaka, raising healthy young boys, raising healthy children to have a better and a healthy environment? Are you working actively on yourself to affect positive change and to unscrew the nonsense that was taught to you in your childhood? Because once you become an adult, with the rate of exposure of social media and everything and the internet, there's really no excuse as to why you should continue to be the way that you are when you yourself are not comfortable with it.
Very well said.
And before we go, we said we're going to go and deliver food. I will be playing our food jingle every time before we end the live show. So what's graciousness say? This graciousness. What's graciousness say? Graciousness, you will not come into the live show one day. You come and say you're at work now, all of you. I also want to
cash app there. The cash app there, the screen.
I say cash
app. The cash app is scrolling.
Where is it? Let me go and look for it.
The cash app is scrolling on the screen. Look at it there.
It's common sense.
We're looking forward to the day that you call it to
call him because we want to hear your voice. Remember, I think it was 2 weeks ago we even found that graciousness is a guy. I used to think you were a girl. Yeah, so if you want to support the channel or Common Sense Sisters, the PayPal is there. It will be in our description box.
Of course, we cannot end without item 7.
Entirely up to you.
Let's bring virtual item 7.
Okay, time for virtual food. You should be commenting in the comments section whether you like our food. What is it now? Our food video jingle. Samalu that said we should do this jingle. It's not here today to say whether you will like the jingle or not. But we know that we'll come back next week and give explanation why. Where is this thing?
The best Nigerian online food service in Toronto, Canada. We deliver to Toronto, Concord, downtown Toronto, Etobicoke, North York, Thornhill, Vaughan, Woodbridge, Mississauga and Scarborough. Order now at yoyomialicious.com. A unique taste of Nigeria. Follow us on Instagram at yoyomialicious. Like and share this video. Nigeria to the world.
All right.
All right. That's the full jingle bell. So if you, yes, so.
Yes, sir. We go cook.
We gotta go cook because we don't deliver late. We have to go and cook for our clients and place order for food. Okay. Thank you, everyone, once again. And please don't forget to check out all the videos that are coming out this week. Toxic masculinity is one of the videos that's going to drop sometime this week. And then we're going to do our best to cut this video into sections so that you can share with your friends.
Share the video, please.
And please, some of you also come and say people are not here to watch it. Please. Just copy the link and just post it on your Facebook page. Don't even say anything.
Share.
Post it on your WhatsApp status. Post it in a group. Share the common sense. Let people have awareness. Let us create a healthy, commonsensesistic balance among our community and people. Thank you very much.
Jingle all the way.
Jingle.
This one not be always jingle bell on the correct.
What do you buy it? Yeah. Yes. So,
oh my goodness.
You know how it be now.
Oh my God.
And then until we see you all next time.
So next
time. There's a video coming out on Monday. The one that came and said, go and watch it. And please leave your comments. However you feel. Whatever
be vulnerable in the comments.
Be vulnerable in the comment section. Okay? Speak your mind, speak your truth. Even if you are trying to reach out to somebody, just speak your suggestion and know that people come and read. And for everything you do down there in the comment section, it's a reflection of who you are.
Yeah.
Okay. Until we see your beautiful and handsome faces next time. For those of you that are listening from your workplaces, silent watchers, we appreciate you. After listening silently, come back and come and give the video a thumbs up.
And share the video too. But don't silently share the video. Share it.
Be speaking about it. Okay. Until we see you all next time, may common sense never depart from you. Bye.
Bye, everybody.